The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, years after the year zero. Massive day today. Yeah. So much to talk about. We're talking about whenever you look at a sports section of anything and you see Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, you see an entire Rolodex, an entire diatribe about 55 different things happening in this particular day and in this sports world. We get a chance to chat about all of it. How we doing? Danny Ainge out of there. Brad Stevens moving up. Brad Stevens, formerly of Butler. Yes, I think they went back-to-back Final Fours, maybe even back-to-back national championships when he had Gordon Hayward here in town, one of them being in Indianapolis. He automatically goes to the Boston Celtics, becomes a great coach. They start winning. People start talking about, hey, this guy might end up being one of the greatest coaches of all time with what he was able to do in college at Butler, what he's been able to do at Boston. Now, allegedly, since the bubble last year, Brad Stevens has been a little bit burnt out on coaching. Mm-hmm. He looks like he's 14, 15, 16, maybe even 22 years old. Whenever he was on the All-Star stage amongst everybody else, when he was the All-Star coach, he gave like this little wave. It looked like a, classic white from like a Catholic school or something like that. Now, he allegedly has been burnt out with coaching, moving into the president role for the Boston Celtics, which I assume he saw what Danny Ainge was doing. He was like, that looks like it's a lot less travel, a lot less hectic. You don't have to deal with a lot of stuff. I could just do that. Boom, he's up in there. We'll talk to Shams Charania in about 11 minutes, actually. He's the one that broke this news story. Is this the biggest story in the NBA today, Shams? Or is it LeBron walking off the court last night?
Whoa.
Last night, okay, at about 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Time, whatever it is, a tip-off happened in the middle of the desert between the Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who's dating a Jenner, taking on LeBron James without Anthony Davis. Ooh. Yeah, they showed him in warm-ups, bouncing back and forth, but, doesn't have it just yet, needs to rest him. So LeBron James was going to have a massive night. LeBron James, in Skip Bayless's eyes, had his biggest game of his career early this morning in Phoenix whenever he took on the Phoenix Suns in the Game 5 of a first-round series in which one he has been to 7,000 times at this point in his career. But could he do this without Anthony Davis? Could he win with the Lakers outside of the bubble when it was kind of a weird thing? Last night, he could not. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of bets that we hit, too, or we tried to hit. We hammered them. LeBron put 30 up and the Lakers to win in a game where, he potentially is going to get eliminated now if they lose again. Was like plus 520. That did not hit. He did not score 30, and they did not win. No. Then triple-double. I think he had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists within the first maybe 4 minutes of the game or whatever. He did not get a triple-double.
Come on.
Now, and also he was spotted leaving the game with about 5-6 minutes left in that
Jordan
thing.
would never.
Well, listen, we don't know if Jordan ever did that,
Well,
to be
someone
honest.
did it to Jordan. The Detroit Pistons did it, and he never held it against him.
Well, they wouldn't shake his hand or something.
Yeah,
wouldn't
walked
do it.
right
He
off.
was
Being a big crybaby.
Who was?
Jordan was.
Oh, okay.
Whoa,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, so that's fascinating that Evan Fox says that Jordan's being a big crybaby with the Detroit Pistons. But Evan Fox and myself, by the way, I'm a rather large LeBron James fan, okay? Just because we're getting a chance to watch something that'll be talked about forever. I mean, that's very short-sighted to me, I guess, especially when you say forever. That's a long time. Who knows if sports will be able to survive whatever fucking backlash is coming that we assume is inevitable with the way the world is. Every future show and movie has some sort of just massive clusterfuck happening, and who knows if sports will survive whatever that is. But for as long as sports being talked about, LeBron James will be talked about. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I watched him in high school. I've said this, in watching his entire career from Cleveland to the Heatles. Now, back to Cleveland, LA. I've followed along just because we're witnessing, witness greatness, which, by the way, is what a lot of people felt, which is an entire, marketing ploy, which is why I think a lot of people hate him, because it's like he bought into the hype of the reality, which is we are literally witnessing something that's going to be talked about forever. He has seemed to not really have that many off-court potential problems, whether it could be anything that happens with a lot of superstars, especially somebody that's been famous since he's like 13 years old. He's been able to handle all that. Now, as he's gotten more political, there's been more things that have popped off, and there's been more anger and hatred that's the political world, by the way. That's why I don't fucking dance in that world. I don't live in that world. I don't like that world, because it seems like everybody hates each other, but that's going to happen as soon as you say something. It's like, well, do you know everything you should know to feel confident enough to speak about said thing? I assume he is, or he wouldn't. It's LeBron. I assume he is, but that's immediately you're getting in there. But last night, him walking off that court did not look good, Foxy.
Nope.
Hey, you even have to admit it. It is. Now.
What a crybaby.
Yeah, whoa.
Zeke.
Whoa. Okay, listen. There was nothing he was going to be able to do. No. He's going back and getting treatment, maybe to get that broken ankle feel better, get a head start on it. Reggie Wayne posted during the game, too. He's like, why is Anthony Davis out there and not getting treatment, by the way? And that's a real thing that happens in like the NFL. Some guys won't travel to a away game, and they're like, did not make the trip. It's like, well, it did not make the trip because they're actually getting treatment over the weekend, like 4 hours each day. So if they weren't there, you get treatment on the road, but it is much different. That was potential missed, treatment time.
Yeah.
But in return, we got support from good teammate.
Coach.
Right.
LeBron, though, I don't know. I don't know how we spin this. As
Maybe he was
LeBron,
watching film, maybe.
I don't. Yeah, maybe he started watching film on what they did wrong. I don't know how you spin this one. It looks bad. And if they lose in the first round to this Suns team, I mean, Chris Paul's got to be celebrating on that banana boat harder than anybody else this offseason, first of all. That guy's been tossed around all over the place. Allegedly can't play with anybody. Seems to win everywhere. Not enough to really go, but he seems to do well. Good golfer as well. Good golfer. Got to see him live. Also got to see him experience or witness learning that he was in Space Jam, because that happened. We got a notification on our phone. We told him about it, and he said, somebody should have told me.
I'm not in fucking Space Jam.
Yeah, so it's like, I've got a chance to see it. But if they get that win over the Lakers, the LeBron haters are going to be loud. In him walking off that court, I assumed he was going to score 50 last night. I assumed he was going 0 Braun 30, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
I assumed it was game, set, match, and it was not that at all last night, Evan. Is it over?
It might be.
If he loses this, is it over? Like, will we ever see? Or is he going to have to get Zion out there? Is he going to, hey, let's load up that team a little bit more?
Yeah.
He's going to have to play Dame.
Bring him in.
Yes.
That guy has one of the greatest basketball nights in the history of basketball, forces overtime, and then another one, he scores 50-plus and loses still.
Yeah.
Now, Dame Dollar, incredible rapper, too. Very loyal person, by the way. Said, hey, I want to stay up here. I don't want to do that whole thing. But let's just say you were able to potentially get him out of that Dahn. With what the Nets are building. And, I've never been a LeBron James fan who said he needs to be alone to win to be. No. I'm a LeBron James fan. It's like, hey, it'd be much better if he had a lot of team around him. Hey, this team's letting him down, aren't they, Foxy?
Look, Pat, if we know anything about LeBron James, you can't count him out yet. You just got to win 2 in a row. And if anyone's going to do that, it's LeBron James. Exactly. And guess what? If he doesn't, they were banged up this year. They won the toughest championship in history last year in the bubble.
You're right.
So give LeBron a break, all right, guys?
You're right. Go ahead,
He was
Ty.
also at a penthouse, by the way.
You hit the nail on the head. With the exception of LeBron and AD, this team fucking stinks. They don't got any guys who can score out there. They just offered Dennis Schrager $91 million. He turned it down. That fucker didn't even have a basket last night. In a playoff game.
Hey, Paul, we need you to...
What do you want? You want LeBron to score 50 points, have 30 rebounds, and 25 assists every game? Guess what? He can't fucking do it.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I was thinking he was going to do that last night.
Me too.
And he started out that way, too. He had a heat check early. He pulled up from the logo after making one step back three. He was like, let's see if I got it today. Brick. All right.
I do not have it. We're going to get beat by 30.
He's got a couple grinders, though. Wesley Matthews was in there, banging on Chris Paul's shoulder. So if he can't go,
how about Caruso, too?
We got Big Al.
Hey, that Suns team's been overlooked this entire season.
That's right.
We've been saying, remember what they did last year in that bubble, dude?
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Opened a lot of eyes.
We are actually on the record speaking about it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Go back and look.
Do I remember us speaking about it before, last night happened? Absolutely not. Of course, we've been on this since the beginning.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, he had his I'm coming out. I want to know. In the bubble.
He did.
Yeah.
World learned about him. You know, he was just bucket after bucket after bucket up there. Dame Dollar. What a performance.
Why?
Yeah. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch, man. It's tough to have people care about the NBA, though.
Very
Nobody
tough.
cares.
Like we were saying, I mean, that's a huge game last night with the Lakers and the Suns, and they fucking got waxed. They got beat by 30. I was going to watch the whole game, you know, turn it on at halftime. Oh, they're up by 30. Okay, I don't need to watch any of this.
This ain't going to happen. It's late. I'm not staying up. It's not a great game. But for them over there on the left coast, they're like, hey, this is what we've had to deal with our entire lives, so maybe you guys can deal with it for a little bit. I get it. I understand it, but I don't know. If LeBron's out, Sidney Crosby's out.
Uh-oh.
Are all playoffs dead at this point? Ovechkin's out as well, right? Hockey has Sid out, which also means Malkin's out. They have Ovechkin out. They have Connor McJesus out. Who else?
Austin Matthews.
Toronto with Austin Matthews.
They're out. All the stars are out. Oh, no.
Well, we got the bees, though. Who cares? We got Pasta scoring goals. We got Tuca in the net. Come on.
Is he still playing? I thought he was hurt.
I don't know if he's still playing yet. The game's tomorrow, so we'll find out then.
I saw John Daly was going off onto a golf course today with 45 Miller Lights in his golf cart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so golf's happening right now,
Two
right?
packs of butts.
Big-time golf Champions Tour golf is happening.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
go.
they've been running the old highlights of Tiger at the Memorial.
Oh, in Ohio.
Man.
Woo! I would love to see Tiger come back and play this weekend. I don't think he's able, but
People think Tiger's not coming back are absolutely wrong. There's also some Pittsburgh news happening here. Before Shams Charania is going to join us to break down everything going on in the NBA and why we should be paying attention even if LeBron gets knocked out, okay? He'll tell us about that. There's some Pittsburgh stuff going on that I'm pretty pumped up about. Big Ben Roethlisberger's come out and said Dwayne Haskins has the prettiest stroke he has ever seen. He said he could throw a football through a car wash and the ball wouldn't get wet.
Whoa.
Ben Roethlisberger, okay, is basically saying, hey, pal, here's the next one. He just anointed Dwayne Haskins, is what it sounds like. Now, I'm assuming Ben Roethlisberger is going to talk up everybody. He's a good teammate now. It hasn't always been that way with Ben Roethlisberger, but as we have found out, he has found the Lord, and he has changed the way he has lived dramatically, both personally, professionally, and I think it has shown. He came out and said, hey, listen, this was my idea to take less money. I love this team. Okay, I wanted less money. Let's make this work. I want to come back. People are retiring. People are saying I ain't got any more. Going to have to learn a new offense. I'll take a pay cut. I want to come back and earn this thing. I ain't going to blow any bop, okay?
No.
I ain't going to throw my teammates under the bus anymore like I used to. I'm a much different Ben. We won 11-0. I'd like to make another run at this thing. That's what he said, right?
Yeah, sure, Ben.
That's-
Yeah, it's your idea.
Yeah, I'll take the
play
bet.
for less money. Don't worry about it.
Hey, that's what Ben did. Ben said it's a new Ben. Ben also comes out and says Dwayne Haskins is awesome. This might be a very new Ben Roethlisberger. Might be a very new Steelers. And is Dewey Haskins the answer over there? I assume he's better than the guy who will be notoriously known as the guy who ate a helmet one night. But Mason Rudolph doesn't have the faith of the Steelers fans. Duck Rudolph's out of town. I guess the answer is Dewey Haskins is the guy going forward.
He may be a answer. He's not the answer.
Whoa.
And good for Ben, just trying to be a good teammate now. He's
Good
been
leader.
humbled. He's trying his best.
He's a good leader, and he said that the new offense is going to look very different than it looked last year. So we're talking about a whole new Ben Roethlisberger.
Could be a whole new Dewey Haskins, too.
Very much so. He kind of got, he made some terrible decisions, ends up with cheeks in his face.
Yeah.
He gets fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Keep
So,
that out of Ben's, area, by the way.
Well,
Dewey.
no, I think that's why it's perfect timing to come into Ben's life. It's like, hey, we both kind of did it much different,
Right.
but we both kind of, now we're here.
Listen,
Bill Cowher's also speaking, big Pittsburgh guy. We'll talk about that on the other side. He had a great interview with The Athletic. Joining us now is an insider for Stadium and for
The Athletic.
The Athletic, which is why I just transitioned there from Bill Cowher's interview with The Athletic like a real show host. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NBA insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, man? Busy morning.
For you, man, not for us. There ain't shit going on in our world. It sounds like your world's popping off right now, though. LeBron loses early this morning, walks off the court. We'll talk to you about that. What's league reaction to that whole thing going on as opposed to just fan reaction? But this morning, Boston Celtics are making a bunch of changes, and it looks like maybe more is happening right now as we speak. What's going on in your world, Shams? Why'd Boston do what they did?
this was a tough year for that organization. I mean, they just did not win to the level that they expected, and there are consequences now. And I'm told Danny Ainge was really thinking about moving off, stepping away from that position for the last 3 years. I'm told he said 3 years ago to people close to him that if in 3 years I don't feel like I'm making progress with this franchise, I'm just going to have to step down. And that 3 years, fast forward now, and Danny Ainge is stepping down. And I think the biggest shock, I think in league circles, Danny Ainge stepping down, given his age, he's had heart issues the last couple of years, and he just, there's always a dawn of a new era, right? And that's, he's from kind of that older generation. And Brad Stevens, he hired a new age head coach, and Brad has done well as head coach. He went to 3 Eastern Conference Finals, I think, in the last 4 or 5 years. So he's had success. But this year clearly showed that Brad Stevens might not be that man for the long-term job. And now Brad Stevens transitions from being the head coach into the president of basketball operations. And I'm told Brad Stevens has also told people close to him he did not necessarily want to coach until he's 50 years old. He's 44 now. So this was an easy transition. There was talk, maybe Brad Stevens to the Pacers. Obviously, the talk of Brad Stevens to Indiana, that never really had any substance behind it.
Why not?
But you're seeing now Brad Stevens deciding he is not fit to be a coach. I mean, that I think is the bottom line from today's announcements. And now you see him going into a president's role.
Listen, I'm outside the basketball world, okay? I'm outside of it. I'm not cropped out. I see the bigger picture, okay? I'm zoomed out. I'm not really in it. I'm out of it. Wasn't the conversation about Brad Stevens maybe being one of the best basketball coaches of all time happening just a few years ago when he was super successful with Butler here in Indiana? It was awesome to watch it with Gordon. Then he goes to Boston, has success. I think there was a younger roster maybe. They outperformed what they were supposed to do via his coaching. Weren't we just talking about him potentially being like one of the great coaches of all time? Now you're saying he didn't really want to do that all the time? And did he see the president role as like a great way to stay in the game but not have to do the grind of the coaching? Like, what was it you think that kind of got him out of the coach of the future to the coach but not for my entire life?
Yeah, Pat, he's been in this role for how long? 7-8 years as head coach of the Celtics. It's tough to I think be the guy that last 10, 15 years without winning a championship. And I think Brad Stevens made runs to the Eastern Conference Finals, but he just was not able to get over that hump. And I think this year there was a lot of chatter behind the scenes within that locker room about accountability. And, Brad Stevens has been, looked at as a very, very stoic coach, very even keel. But how are you able to hold players accountable? How are you able to get the best out of players? And I think this move for Brad Stevens to go from that head coaching position to now being the president of an organization, leading basketball operations. I mean, I hate to say it. I think there's only one way to look at it. He understood he isn't fit for that head coaching role with that organization. Again, could he go on somewhere else and be the head coach of an organization? Sure. But as far as that organization, that team in Boston, he goes and is the president. And I think there has been some interest with him in taking on a role like president where you can be kind of like you said, in the back, might not be able to have to travel every day and deal with that type of a grind. Listen, anytime you can be a president of an organization and really call the shots, I think, most coaches would love to have that as part of their role. GD
just said in the YouTube section that Ambien actually takes Brad Stevens to go to sleep. Is that something that everybody else is he known as like a dull, dry character? Or do you think he's going to get, as president of an organization, you think he's going to get in the action here? You think he's bringing Zion in? You think he's bringing Dame in? Do you think he's like, what do you think? What does the president do? Is that the decisions that the president makes?
So Brad Stevens' first job, and I'm told he will lead the head coaching search for this organization. Now, who is Brad Stevens targeting? I think he's going to have to get with that organization, the front office, and really start to put names together and discuss names. A few names one of the names I've heard already is Jason Kidd, the assistant with the Lakers. That's a prominent name that's come up already. But again, Brad Stevens has to get his bearings. He has not been a president of an NBA organization before. He has Mike Zarin, who has been the longtime general manager there. He has Mike Zarin underneath him. A lot of people believe that Mike Zarin was going to be the president to take over for Danny Ainge. But no, Brad Stevens will be the president. Mike Zarin, Austin Ainge, who's Danny's son, I'm told are remaining with the organization as of right now. So he's got his hands cut out, as in his first time role as president.
Yeah, Shams, we're talking to Shams Charania, senior insider for the NBA for the Athletic and Stadium. We appreciate you. It's way too much Boston talk, to be honest.
Wow.
So let's just kind of move along here. LeBron James. Hey, okay, I'm a LeBron guy, Shams. Hey, you hear me? Shams, I'm a LeBron guy. What was he doing walking off the court 6 minutes left in the game? I mean, they're down 100. What's he doing out there, Shams? What is everybody saying? Was he going in there to get treatment? Is that what it was? Early treatment on the ankle, watching film? What was it, Shams? And what is the reaction overall to if LeBron and the Lakers are out of this thing early? That's not great for the NBA, is it? I mean, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, as far as him walking out, I mean, I think, whether it's treatment, whether he had to, to take a number 2. I don't know the case for
Lamar Jackson.
And God, I'm just saying, I wouldn't read too much into him leaving the floor, because at the end of the day, he is dealing with this ankle issue that he dealt with in the regular season. He's played through it, and obviously he's getting to the point where he is comfortable enough to play and playing at a high level. He came out last night, and I thought he looked aggressive. I don't know what you saw, Pat. But he looked like he had his springs to him. He looked like he was moving fluidly. But him and that whole team just were not making shots. And if you're not shooting the ball well from the field, you're just not going to win a game, period. And without Anthony Davis, this team has really a small margin for error. And, I thought Anthony Davis, what he did is he masked a lot of this team's problems, right? Dennis Schroeder, a lot of these guys on this roster just have not been playing up to standards. And so when you have Anthony Davis, he is able to, negate some of that and able to cover up a lot of that. And you don't have him in the lineup. He doesn't play last night. And I'm told his status is very much in question for Game 6. And if he does give it a go, maybe that'll give you a boost. But even still, you're looking at Anthony Davis that is not going to be 100%. And if he's not 100%, I just don't see how this team, as a 7 seed, not having home court advantage, they're up against it right now.
Shams, every time you come and speak, it does feel like you are speaking for the entire basketball community to me. So I appreciate you doing that. Ty does that for the baseball community to me, where I potentially overreact to things that I don't know enough about. It happened with soccer too. Nigel came on to talk to me, but for the soccer community, this is something that happens on a regular basis. So if you have to call me an idiot for what I'm about to say, by all means, okay?
I would never do that.
You can, though, Shams, because I have the utmost respect for you and your knowledge, and you're representing an entire fan community here when you talk to me, the big dumb stooge, sports stooge, zoomed out stooge. Can we get Dame Dalla, Zion Williamson, John Morant all on one team? How come we can't have that happen? Can we not just get to what we're eventually going to get to and already be there? I mean, the Nets, with what the Nets are doing, they can stink for 3 quarters, that team. And then they could just lock in and it's on. Now, will they be able to do that all the way through? Who knows? The Heat struggled early there with the San Antonio Spurs, because the Spurs, by the way, had an absolute team there. What do you think, like Dame, 55 points or whatever last night in a loss? Like, I love what he's doing there, but then let's get players to him then. How is that going to inevitably happen? Or do you think like the Brooklyn Nets and then the Heatles and then whoever else it might be, it's just kind of a shifting thing? Or do you think that's going to become like a full encompassing thing at some point?
I mean, I think Damian Lillard, he's going to, in that organization, I think it starts from an organizational level, right? What is Portland, if they don't get past this first round series with Denver, what do they do with Terry Stotts? What are they doing with their front office? What are they doing with the roster to support Damian Lillard? Damian Lillard isn't really, he's got multiple years left on that Supermax extension that he's on. So he's not really in a position where he's going to be able to enter free agency, but he is going to be able to find out about his future there, what the future holds with that organization. Are they looking to get better? Are they looking to make moves? And if they are, I think that Damian Lillard has shown to be loyal. But if Damian Lillard senses, and I think we all will sense, right, with the moves that Portland makes this offseason, whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's the front office, whether it's the roster, what they're doing. And if they're not, playing and making moves to compete and win championships, I think Damian Lillard's at a point now where you're looking at him play. He's having to score, 55 points and 12 NBA record, 12 threes in the playoffs. He's going to eventually have to look around and say, I'm just not winning at that level that I need to win at, that my legacy, that my stature deserves. And so he's been loyal there. But just as a fan, like you said, Pat, just looking at it from a fan's perspective, I think you have to look at it and see is that organization making the right moves over these next couple weeks or months, whenever they lose in the playoffs, to do right by Dame.
So you think it is all organizational decisions, right? Like, we don't know. For instance, like the Pelicans aren't just going to wake up and be like, you know what? We want to surround Zion with studs. Like, instead of people paying to get out of here, like, we're going to become the team where people come. Like, you think that is from top down decision making? Is it because, like, some people believe, like in the NFL, there's people that believe we're going to build through the draft. Like, we're going to build through the draft. That's our team. It's more of a solid foundation as opposed to just buying. Is that kind of the views? Like, there's just two different views about building a team, and then the teams that choose to buy the good teams are just always going to win, and the other teams are just going to have to learn that? Is that something that's just...
Yeah, I mean, listen, players are going to make decisions based off of their surroundings and what's going on around them, right? So if Zion Williamson, if the Pelicans front office wants to make this team better, they know anytime you have a generational talent like a Zion Williamson, or Memphis with Ja, or Portland with Damian Lillard, any team with any generational type of player, a franchise type player, you need to make the right moves to win now. We saw it with LeBron, we saw it with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. Like, if those teams aren't making moves to win and compete at the highest of levels, eventually the player, when he is able to look around, will look around. Zion's in a little bit of a different situation because him and John Morant are going to be max contract extension eligible here in the next year or so. And so rookie scale guys don't pass off on money like that. So I would not expect them to pass on hundreds of millions of dollars in extension. I'm sorry to say, Pat, but that just does not happen.
But
okay. A guy like Damian Lillard, a vet, vets around the league, whether it's a Bradley Beal, or guys that do enter free agency, Kevin Durant and LeBron James, you have a lot more control and really want to dictate your future a lot more.
I understand Zion's young, and I just hope the Pelicans decide then, since we are going to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for this guy, we should at least allow him an opportunity to be on, like, television, in, like, primetime TV and, like, the playoffs. That'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, they had playing games. Everybody in the league made the playoffs, basically, except for the New Orleans Pelicans, it felt like. So, maybe the Pelicans will decide that they'll want to do that whenever they invest hundreds of millions of dollars. If you could tell them, Shams, that'd be great. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Shams, I saw a report yesterday, I'm assuming it was from you, that A-Rod is trying to move the Timberwolves to Seattle very soon. Whoa. Is that happening, or is that going to take a little time here?
That was not my report, but from what I've been told from people around that sale, I've reported on that sale. The Athletics report on that sale extensively. The plan for Alex Rodriguez and his partner Mark Lore has not been to move the team from Minnesota. Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lore, and Glenn Taylor, the Timberwolves' current owner, they've been in agreement that they want the team to stay in Minnesota. And so, again, this sale isn't even ratified yet. It should be ratified here likely in the next month or so. And when it is, there's still a 2-year succession plan for Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore to take over for Glenn Taylor. Jeez. So until that happens, it's really hard to see this team move. So at least within that 2-year window, that's when maybe you might start to see more of idea of what the future really holds for this organization. But I'm told right now the plan is to keep the team in Minnesota.
I like the fact, though, that A-Rod just comes in and says, yeah, we're getting the fuck out of here. We're going over to Seattle. You saw what they did with the Kraken? We're going to make the basketball. We're bringing basket back to Seattle, right? They had a big-time team. Then they went to Oklahoma City.
Uh-huh.
Oklahoma City got Seattle's NBA team.
Yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
How'd that happen, Shams? How old were we when that happened, and how did that happen?
Yeah, that was crazy, right? And that's, a similar situation. Clay Bennett took over that team, said he's keeping the team in Seattle. Then they end up moving to Oklahoma City. Minnesota fans, you don't want this to be the same situation. And you never say never. But again, from my reporting, what I'm hearing, the plan is for that team to stay in Minnesota. So I guess Minnesotians, they can keep a smile on their face. But there's no question. I think the league does have interest eventually in being in Seattle. I just don't think that means they're going to take the team out of Minnesota.
That arena will be very loud. Their fan base only gets a real chance to perform public and open events, like the Pacific Northwest. They got the MLS teams and obviously the Seahawks. It is always awesome up there. I can't believe Seattle lost an NBA team to Oklahoma City. That has to
horseshit.
That has to haunt them a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I bet you there's people in Seattle that are not happy.
Does not sit well.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
they drafted Durant and then they got the hell out of there.
Shout out to Oklahoma City, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be some serious pool in Oklahoma City. Shout out to them. Go ahead, Ty.
Shams, there were a couple reports about Luka not being able to feel his fingers and that he might have, like a fracture or something like that. Is he playing with a broken frickin' neck right now? And if he is, are the Mavericks dead in the water?
I haven't been told that it's that severe. I'm told it's more of a muscle soreness type of issue, and clearly it's hampered him, right? It's something he's dealing with right now, but I'm not told there's any seriousness, and I'm told he has been feeling better actually in the last couple days.
Okay, here we go. Shams, appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for all the information. Can't wait to see what else you break. And is anything else big coming today?
As always, not that I know of, but as soon as I do, I'll hit you guys up.
Yeah, but we'll just follow you. But we saw you looking off screen there while you were talking to us. It's almost like you have your phone there. Is there like updates coming? Who's texting you right now? Is it like, hey, this is potentially happening, this is potentially happening? Is that the only conversations you have nowadays?
No, I mean, there's a lot of just back and forth just discussions, Pat. If you're just talking about news and transactions all the time, you're probably not going to get many news and transactions. So it's just normal discourse, normal conversation.
Oh, hey, did you see his new shoes? Oh, yeah. Who are you trading for? I like it. Shams worked the game. You do a great job, ladies and gentlemen. Shams Charania.
Yes!
Thank you, Shams. Appreciate you, man. He broke the news this morning about the that's an interesting thing with this show. Sports stooge for sure. Not a lot to talk about in our world, but there are sports happening, a lot of big things happening. Whenever Shams breaks news, we just send up the Shams signal.
That's right.
Need you to come explain what the fuck's going on. By the way, Danny Ainge said 3 years ago, I want to get out of here.
That's wild.
Okay, Danny Ainge said, I'm done with it. If I am moving the team in the right direction, get me out of here. And they find the perfect replacement. There is the Shams signal. And Brad Stevens is the perfect replacement because he said, I'm not coaching until I'm 50 anyway. So seems to be a perfect match here out of those two. LeBron James, like Foxy and I thought, had to take a shit.
Had to take a shit.
Okay.
Shams not just saying that for no reason.
No.
Well,
What?
no.
Go ahead, say it.
I mean, hey, who wants to be on, Bron's bad side, who's reporting in the NBA?
Yeah.
Or in the NBA
Well,
in
maybe
general?
the NBA insider just does his job so well, LeBron has respect for him.
Has Windhorst said anything yet?
And we will wait on
That's a good point.
Windhorst.
Yeah, he was pooping all over the place.
We don't.
Windy wouldn't say it like that.
He's a award-winning journalist.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm sure he's won at least 5 awards or 6 awards.
I wasn't sure.
Brian Windhorst, ESPN guy that has followed LeBron James around his entire career since high school, has covered LeBron James rather in depth. I'm not sure if he's still doing it or not. We haven't seen him in a while. This would be the perfect time for him.
He was on yesterday.
Has he covered the poop gate?
Well, this was pre-Poopgate. It was yesterday afternoon, so we'll see today, this afternoon, if he's covering Poopgate.
If Windhorst says, then we'll know for sure, but Shams already said it, and Shams our guy. We sent up the Shams signal. He comes in a big way. 1-833-4-McAfee. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. Talk about Bill Cowher. Bruce Arians also talking about Kyle Trask. Very fascinating.
Yeah.
Talking about Andrew Luck's brain as well. There's a lot of things for us to talk about, even though we might be downplaying it a little bit. Cannot wait for those discussions. You can be a friend, tell a friend, or enter in our ticker trivia for $5,000 today. We can't wait to see who wins that. We'll see you in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, June 2nd.
I told her about it. I was like, you have the expectations of the New York subway. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, oh. Documentary type thing?
I can hear that roar from the crowd. It's from Pat McAfee.
This environment is electric. We just walked in here, and I'm expecting some magical stuff to happen here this evening.
The guy who lost, he's been arrested and reported 13 times.
A baker's dozen is a lot of times to get caught doing something wrong and going to jail. It's almost kind of nice to see that Russian kid play bongos on his face there, but it's been awesome this evening.
As a former NFL player, who's the guy that you think would be pretty good in the ring?
The only name that came to mind was a guy named Robert Mathis, okay?
Yeah.
Robert Mathis, not only this incredibly tough man, but the way he utilized his hands as an undersized defensive end. The human cockfighting world is one that I am very intrigued by. The amount of training, the amount of discipline, the amount of strategery, everything about it. The dude's got cinder blocks attached to his wrist. I think tonight is going to be a big night against Tarasenko.
I was going to say it 3 different ways.
Tarasenko. But I just think Triple G is such a magnetic fighter, and that's why this place is lit up the way it is. I was told not to blink, keep my eyes open. I brought Visine, I brought the vitamins, and I am expecting something awesome to happen. Hey, wait, are we on the screen right now?
Big screen at Madison
Square Garden. Hey, Mama, we made it.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
It's warming up and almost summer, which means bird dogs are back!
Hell yeah!
Bird dogs are the best and most comfortable pair of shorts that have ever existed. They stole Lululemon's designer and are just doing it better. How are they doing it better, you ask?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the built-in underwear. Oh. Yeah, so they have the built-in underwear. And back in the day, you used to put a bathing suit on that had built-in underwear. And it was like a deadliest catch crab net that was kind of soaking up the kit and caboodle down there.
Yeah, worst.
You know, it was supposed to be comfortable. And instead, it normally had you in a rear naked choke or a guillotine in the kitten bean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Oh, yeah.
This is not that built-in underwear. This is the softest fabric all the way down to like high thigh.
Perfect.
It moves with you, not against you. It's comfortable. It makes underwear obsolete for the day at least.
Yeesh.
The shorts are amazing. You can wear them to golf. You can wear them to a meeting. You can wear them to work out. You can wear them to sleep. We're talking you can wear them to swim. These are all-terrain shorts from our friends at Bird Dogs. And right now, if you go to birddogs.com and enter promo code PATSBALL, they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs whistle ball. Yeah, a free Bird Dogs whistle ball. Ooh. Very similar to, you know, one of the old Nerf Vortexes.
That's right.
You know, the one Michael Vick threw out of the stadium.
Okay.
Whistling. It's very similar to that, but instead it just has the Bird Dogs shit all over it.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's really awesome. BirdDogs.com, promo code PATSBALL. They'll throw in a free ball.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Shout out to Bird Dogs. I do love those shorts, though.
Oh,
the
yeah.
best.
They also have pants, but it's getting a little bit, warm for that. It is torrential downpour here in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell's going on.
What's the deal? It's June, dude.
Yeah.
I thought, in like a lion, out like a lamb. April showers bring May flowers.
Yeah.
Boom.
What's going on with these absolute torrential downpours in June?
I don't know. I'm sick, but I thought we were supposed to be getting 85 and sunny. Isn't that what June is?
Gloom and doom June. How you doing? I mean, what are we even doing here? This entire situation. It's chilly out there.
Mm-hmm.
It is rainy out there. But that would not stop the sunshine and joy from within this studio.
No.
Every time we get a chance to go to the callers, the people that call in from their day to this show to ask a question or make a statement, it brightens everybody's day, doesn't it?
Love it.
Always.
I absolutely love it when this happens. Let's go to Sean in Canada. Sean, what's going on, pal?
What's up, Pat? Boys?
Pal?
How's it going? Shout out.
Shout out. What do you want to talk about, dude? Hey?
Well, my friend, I have a tad bit of a bone to pick with you.
No.
Whoa.
Hey, bone to pick with me, pal. Hey, what'd I do there?
Mr. Patrick Justin McAfee.
That's nice. You did get the full name. I used to say Hercules.
On some hockey knowledge.
Oh, please. Who are you talking to, pal? I'm the hockey aficionado.
Come on.
Greatest player and team of all time. The Edmonton Oilers.
See, it's going to be tough to take you serious. You hear me?
I'm sure my countryman, Gumpy, can help me out here.
No, Gumpy doesn't know anything about hockey. That's why just because you're from Canada doesn't mean you know hockey. You know why I know that? Because we got a Canadian. He doesn't know a damn thing about hockey, all right? So I'm just assuming that potentially runs wild up there in Canada. And listen, the Edmonton squad, definitely good. Okay, they're good.
Of course.
Greatest player of all time, though. Top two are all from one organization, one franchise, one team. And that's the Pittsburgh Penguins, pal. Hockey season's over. I don't need to hear this type of shit from you, Sean.
Edmonton Oilers wear the belt. What? Come on.
What?
I don't know enough about hockey to know if he's right.
Fucking Gretz played for Edmonton.
Yeah,
right?
They won.
That's what
They
you're
won
talking
4
about?
cups in the '80s, and then Gretzky left. They won one more, and then they haven't seen a thing since.
Oh, that was back whenever they didn't even wear helmets in goal.
There was no salary cap. The goalies were standing up. They didn't even follow the ice. They were wearing pillows on their legs.
Don't you come talking about a different sport than what Sidney Crosby plays. Okay?
Don't hear it.
This is just like LeBron and Jordan. Ooh. That is 2 very different sports. I didn't know that until I seen The Last Dance.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then The Last Dance, I was like, oh.
A lot harder to play back in the day.
See, I disagree. I think Michael Jordan was playing against Ty Schmidt back in the day.
Yeah, fouling the shit out of him.
Ty had a lot of grit. Yeah, definitely fouled him. But at the end of the day, Ty can't touch the net right now. Jordan was playing against a lot of people that couldn't dunk.
Yeah.
All right?
It was actually the big man era.
In a couple teams, only in the playoffs. Everywhere else, they're playing against Boston Connor. Now, listen, Jordan would have been good in any era, okay? Because the type of human he was, the competitive edge he had, the athleticism he had. But I just refuse to believe that LeBron couldn't have handled the toughness of back in the day with him being 6'8", 250 pounds. I just don't know. I don't know how that stands any real firm ground in an argument about why Jordan's better than LeBron.
Yeah, and you don't see a lot of guys shooting from the logo in the 80s and 90s, and now that's a pretty normal thing in today's NBA. That's tough to guard.
The sport has evolved. Okay, it's impossible to compare the two, is what we're saying. Yeah, Trailblazer, Michael Jordan changed the game completely, business-wise, sports-wise, movie-wise. He did all of that, okay? But I don't like the comparison saying LeBron will never be Jordan. It's like they play 2 different sports. Yep. Please, this is 2 different sports they're playing. LeBron had to poop, okay? Let's assume Jordan had to poop too. LeBron had to poop last night, had to leave that game early.
Jordan would have held it.
Well, maybe that's why, Michael Jordan is passing the ball for other people to shoot whenever he needs a win in the playoffs. Okay, maybe that's why Jordan's missing free throws in the playoffs with 10 seconds left in the game. Things that we had never seen before until Jordan, by the way, decided to put that out in his own documentary. He was like, listen, you guys never hear about this shit? Like, hey, I passed the ball to the head coach of the Golden State Warriors all the time whenever we needed one. Okay? And then also, there's free throws that I've missed with 10 seconds left. They say I missed all the time. Everybody sees the one thing, and because I missed all the time. Jordan which by the way makes me respect Jordan more. But what I'm saying is all these, arguments about who's better is just impossible to do, especially when one guy has to poop with 5 minutes left in a game. They're down 30 and decides to do so, and he's judged for it.
I mean, if Bron played in the 90s, who's to say that he wasn't playing for the Cowboys in February as well?
Yeah.
Because of how advanced he was.
You're 100% right. Let's go to Ron in Nebraska. Ron, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Hey, thank you, Pat. Thank you, the boys. Quick rundown. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but Tom Brady, gotta love it, making fun of himself with the 4 downs when he played the Bears. And then also bringing up BA when he brought up no risk it, no biscuit. And if you don't mind, guys, another buddy of mine is getting married soon. Harris, he's a big fan of the show as well. Just wanted to name drop. Thank you, guys.
Not a bad run.
At least he was quick.
Yeah, what I'm saying was he was quick. Shout out to Harris, by the way. Good luck out there. Marriage is awesome. You're going to love it.
Good luck, Harris.
You're going to love, dude. You're going to love your happily ever after. Congratulations, Harris. Can't wait. Hope the speeches at the wedding was good. You know, I hope they're great. I hope the families get along. You know, I hope it's an overall celebration you remember forever. I honestly believe that.
Families don't get along probably makes for an electric wedding, too.
Yeah, if you're a spectator, not if you're in the wedding.
True.
You know what I mean? If you're a spectator, good. Harris, not good. If the in-laws do not get along. I've been in one of those. Spectator. I wasn't in it. Spectator.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Yeah, had to be.
Actually got to speak at it, too, so got to address it.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
Dream scenario.
Yeah, we're talking Montagues and the Capulets, by the way.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm
okay.
super fucking cultured. Don't worry about it. I just referenced William Shakespeare, I believe.
You did.
Okay, that's good news. Did not know if that was. This is Romeo and
Juliet.
Juliet.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, their families hate each other. Okay, I think it's because one was from West Virginia, one was from Kentucky. I think if I'm getting my stories right. No, they
basically.
Yeah, there's also a West Virginia and Kentucky family that want to murder each other too, I believe. But it's a similar thing. They hated each other. You know, right? And they end up dying because of the whole thing.
Basically, yeah.
This wedding that I was asked to speak at as potential best man.
Oh.
These families hated each other. We're talking about coming from two very different places, okay? And you could sense the budding rivalry through the room was split directly in half, too, like the reception room where, you know, one family sits on one side, the other family sits on the other side. Pretty big room. So it turned into a stare down, basically, between the two sides. One side, the side that I was a part of, was a drunken, rowdy bunch. Mm-hmm. Okay? The other side was a rather sophisticated bunch over there.
Wow.
Now, they were not like a soft, sophisticated bunch, but they were a pretty serious group of people. They hated, and I mean, they looked down upon the other side.
Good Lord.
And I was asked to represent our side on the microphone. So as this wedding's going on, I'm actually getting motivational speeches from people that we all would know if I said the name. Like, hey, pal, you got to fucking go do this for us. Because they had the first 45 minutes of speeches, okay?
45 minutes?
Oh, yeah. We're talking dad. We're talking friends. We're talking sisters.
Open mic night.
Oh, it was the whole thing. First speaker from our side. I was sent out of the bullpen. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, I felt really good about it. Felt like I brought the two together.
Wow.
Felt like I brought the two together. Then somebody else spoke, split the room right back in half. Right back in half. Harris, I hope that doesn't happen to you. Okay, I hope it's a great night. I hope it's a happy night. And your buddy here who called in from Nebraska, who Joe Paterno was very worried about whenever he was coaching there in his last couple years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you do recall, he was more worried about Nebraska than he was actually Sandusky and hanging out with his kids.
Locker room,
yeah, the whole thing. That came out in HBO. We didn't. Once again, this is not my report.
No.
I've been getting blamed for other people's reports, TMZs, HBOs, things like that. This is from their report. But Nebraska caller says, hey, Tom and Bruce Arians, what's going on here? Tom making fun of himself with the 4 downs. I did not see that, okay? I do like that we have learned now that he definitely did. And we all thought he did. At the time, everybody was saying he didn't. Because he is Tom Brady. Tom Brady's come out and say, hey, guys, it's okay to. I did do that.
You can joke.
That was bad. But now Tom has his crew. They're working out. And BA has his crew. They're at OTAs. Uh-oh. And BA's a big, hey, we're going to compete as a team guy. He has been very open about the boycott of OTAs and why veterans want OTAs to change this thing. Bruce Arians, since the beginning of time, Bruce Arians is beloved by his players, but BA so much is like his players. He understands why his players want to do what they want to do. He doesn't take into account the whole, wear and tear on the body and all that shit. He's just talking about, the older players don't want the young players to get better and take their fucking jobs. That's what BA. BA is just like a straight shooter. He's always said that. So now that Kyle Trask is there, hey, this is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen, BA saying. Just to stir the pot with Blaine Gabbert and Tom Brady and everybody that's not coming. Then BA comes out and says, There's about 10 guys that aren't here that don't even know that they're in competition. Ooh. So that's BA once again sending shots out to everybody that's not at the building. And that's because BA, I think, cherishes this time of building the team, competing, like getting everything in there. If other people were working, we're working. That's kind of BA's thing. And now the Buccaneers are a very veteran team. They are an older team. They are a team filled with players that know how to get themselves prepared. They now know the offense. They're working out on it. And this is a new world for BA. There's not a lot of teams that have been built like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Excited to see how the standoff goes. I hope it continues to be shots, fired. And I hope it continues to be shit talk. But the only thing that matters is Sundays in the fall, or Thursdays, or Mondays, or Saturdays, or Wednesday afternoons, or Tuesdays in America, Mexico, Canada, England, now Germany potentially. Oh. That's the only thing that matters. And they're trying to go undefeated next year. They all are. But as we try to get to that point, I like BA being like, no, this is bullshit. You guys aren't here.
Oh, and BA's got his boys and Brady's got his boys, similar to your wedding situation. If Tom comes out first and gives a little speech to everybody like, hey, we're one here. Let's, unite the sides, put our swords down for a little.
This is Magic versus Jordan. Ooh. Okay? This is Tom Brady and the boys showing up.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Larry Bird's got his old ass laying on the side.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Kyle Trask and his young crew. Okay, they're trying to say. And I believe in this particular game, although Jordan beat the shit out of Magic and them.
Yeah.
And it happened, documented. That was like the passing of the torch. Greatest game never seen. We've all seen it like 100 times now at this point. But at the time, I guess nobody saw it because the internet wasn't around. I assume we would have seen that game immediately if the internet was around. But the vets, I think they would show up there and things would go pretty quickly. BA knows that as well. But I like that old habits dying hard with him. Like 10 guys, they might be losing their fucking jobs. They don't even know it. Hey, Kyle Trask, he's not too far behind Andrew Luck when we're talking mentally. Andrew Luck, I know he's a architectural engineer. He's graduated from Stanford, a super genius photographic. This guy, Tom Blaine, I want to let you know this guy.
Next level,
same damn thing. There's some breaking news out here in the world of the NFL. Just a couple days ago, we told you 30 of 32 NFL teams announced that they will have full stadiums this fall. The Broncos and the Colts were the only two that said, nah, not yet. We haven't seen what we need to see to say that we could potentially have full stadiums this fall. Every other city that has a stadium in the NFL has said, yeah, we think it's going to be able to happen. Denver and Indianapolis, their mayors and powers that be said, nah, we got to see more. As of today, the Broncos have announced that they have gotten the green light to have full capacity at games next season. The Colts are the only team without full clearance, but the league fully anticipates that to happen in the near future. Well, let's make sure Mayor Hogsett down here gets all the information he needs, okay?
That's right. Yeah.
29 stadiums, whatever it is. I don't know if it make 29, 30, whatever it is. There's some massive cities with very differing political opinions on what the protocols are being fought. Joe Hogsett here in Indianapolis, this son of a bitch ain't listening to anybody, okay? No stone unturned, no stat unread. I'll open it whenever I feel we can open it. Thank God Joe Hogsett's looking out for everybody, and every other mayor in the city is proving that they don't care about their citizens. Thank you, Joe Hogsett, for caring about us more than everybody else, having your own stats and your own science, and only open it on your time, pal. That's what you got to do.
Thank you, Joe.
At some point.
You're going to go full stadiums in my fucking city?
That's
not on my watch.
That's what Joe Hogsett said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know it's not easy to be a local, whatchamacallit. And it's the first time ever in their existence they've been called in to actually have to do something. But
yeah,
it's like, yo, come on, man. What do the 31 other organizations know that we don't?
Well, like you said, if they can find out how to have full stadiums in LA, then I think we'll be just fine.
I don't fully, but we'll at some point, Hogsett's looking into it. And for that, I'm thankful. But it feels like we maybe beat COVID.
We did.
Hour 2 is on the other side. AJ Hawk will be joining us. More phone calls. And there's stuff to talk about, I promise. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, June 2nd.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight, we have a straight-to-hell match in which the Devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Bostic.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic right to hell!
I do not want to go to
Good God,
hell!
no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
No, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift! Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh wait! He's tuning up the bed! The devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
He shuts the casket!
And
Straight
that's
back to
it!
hell! The devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW Championship right here on our first OCW Straight to Hell.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we can probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
"We're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work."
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, "Pippen ain't easy." Kidding me?
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips him from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me. Obviously, I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Leave it all
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple of times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Right, well, cheers.
Appreciate it.
Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's
Scotty.
the best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stockade up here.
You right.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, hour 2 with the Hammer Dahn Boys and AJ Hawk. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. Woo. Here we are. Here we go. AJ, what's going on, pal? Good to see you. AJ, you sound real Oaks. Hey, let's go Oaks, dude.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, I watched some of your Shams interview. How did you guys kind of gloss over the fact that he reports that LeBron just was taking a dump? That's why he left 5 minutes early.
We didn't gloss over it. We actually hit it for the next 35 minutes. Actually,
Okay, dude.
Hey, he did poop last night. He did. That's a huge news, by the way. As soon as he said it, I took back all he's joking, and I was like, no, Shams not a joker. Shams is an insider. That is what happened. He had to take a dump, AJ. You've been there. Hey, you played a full game. You got your ass kicked. Let me get the bad out. Get out of me. Is what was happening with him. We've all been there, AJ. Sometimes you go poop. Hey, shit happens,
Hey, do you think his coach told him, hey, come on back when you're done?
Frank goes, you go, what? Bro, get out. Yeah, go shit. I'll see you 23rd.
We're down by 30.
I was going to say.
Yeah, don't come back out. LeBron's like, I want to come back out, though. I don't want to look bad. Go enjoy your shit, please.
Yep.
Take your time. Take the shoes off.
Yeah.
Get that ankle. We got a lot to do in the next game. All of a sudden, next day, though, LeBron's a big crybaby. This guy, he disrespects basketball. He doesn't want to lose by 50 in the playoffs. This guy's upset. His team stinks. That's what everybody's saying. He just had to take a shit.
He's a human.
He comes out and says that.
Shams did.
Shams
isn't Wayne Horse, who is LeBron's mouthpiece.
Well, hey, old Window's going to have to come answer some questions. But you're right. That was breaking news that Shams had on this show. We appreciate him for that. Speaking of breaking news, AJ Hawk, good friend of Aaron Rodgers. Anything to break in that front, or are we still just sitting here easy come, easy go, pal?
I think it's easy come, easy go. No updates for me. Is there anything that has been out there? Any rumors floating out there that anyone's reporting on?
So is it no hurries, no worries over there? Dude, can we just please get something? He's going back? Is that what you're feeling? You're feeling since the beginning. You feel he's going back. This delayed and everything. Because there was a report yesterday. And I don't know if it was accumulation of information, or whatever it was. He's told some Packers he's not coming back. When did he say that? Is that the same report that came out long ago that we learned was just accumulation of information? Have you changed your stance at all? You think he comes back to the Packers? Has anything changed that for you?
I don't know if anything's changed that. I don't know how confident I am in anything with going forward. I just don't know how. I said from the jump, how does it end? What needs to happen? And when does it happen? I guess I don't think anything. When should something happen? Is there any kind of? Now we're at the June 2nd date, so now something can happen. But will anything happen over the next month?
It feels like we might have been sold a bill of lies.
Yeah, we were.
It feels like we were potentially sent snipe hunting, and told the June 2nd that post-June 1, pre-June 1 thing was a big deal. Because then when we got to June 1, they delayed it even more. They're like, no, actually today's just purgatory. Today it's post-June 1 for a reason. Now we got into June 2nd. What's the big news? LeBron took a shit last night.
Yeah,
come on.
What do we even, I thought, I feel like we were all kind of duped. We must remember this for next draft cycle offseason.
Yes.
Okay, we have to learn from this. We cannot get caught in the same mistakes. 1 year from now, we cannot be wondering if something's going to just happen because of a random date that was made up by people. We have to mature and grow in this thing, AJ.
Okay, how do you suggest we do that?
We'll hear it next, and we just won't talk about it.
Yeah,
perfect.
We won't do a show.
I like that.
We won't do a show. That's what we'll do. We won't fall for it anymore because it is kind of, I hate, being a potential spreader of a false narrative or something like that. Honestly, legitimately hate it. Don't like it. That's why the Miles Teller situation, I'm like, I feel bad about in the whole thing. Mixed feelings about a lot of it.
Saw some more stuff. I saw some videos came out of the people, right?
Oh.
I have not seen. Okay, so you do have an update on the
TMZ showed a video, I think, of them, the lady getting arrested or something somewhere else.
Okay, so here's some breaking information from AJ Hawk out of Maui.
It's on there. It's on TMZ. I think it was on there yesterday.
Okay, so I didn't see that report as loud as I did see the one where he got punched in the mouth allegedly at a restaurant just hours after posting an Instagram photo and saying that he just signed with the Packers. So I would like to see that. I would like to see that whole thing, come full circle. And I hope justice is served, okay, because it sounds like there's some bad people over there beating the shit out of people and taking advantage of people from outside. I am somebody that visits Hawaii a lot. I hope that gets handled. Miles Teller, wedding planner, involved in another wedding confrontation.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, so there's a lot popping off over there. There's more coming out of that thing. But me, talking about that in the wrong way, I felt bad about that. Waking up in the morning and not having a clue what we can talk about and potentially speaking completely out of my ass, which the job calls for, and I'm lucky to do it for 3 hours, is tough. So anytime you learn anything, I would love it if you told me. That'd be great.
Hey, when I learn something, I obviously will let you know. You know that.
And I can't wait for that. We have some breaking news out of college basketball. Whoa. This is coming a couple years too late, if you ask me. This is coming breaking. Jeff Goodman at Goodman Hoops is reporting. Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski has decided to retire after this coming one more year, he said.
Ooh.
Multiple sources have told
his Jeter year he has right now.
Thank you, Mike.
Official announcement expected soon. The leading candidate to replace Coach K is assistant and former Duke player John Shire. Hey, Coach K, I thought you maybe should have done this a couple more years ago. In fact, you're adding another year on. Even more legendary, sir. Hell of a run out there.
Baby K.
Good work, Coach. Thank you not only for what you did for college basketball, Olympic basketball, the sports world in general, but just everything you've ever done, Coach K. Thanks a lot, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, K.
With that being said, I hope what people talk about, and we should talk about, is all the great Duke teams, building Duke up to be a powerhouse year in, year out.
Absolutely.
What he was able to do with the Olympic team, the success he's had with a lot of players and the futures and everything. I hope everybody talks about those teams. And I hope they don't talk about when he had the top 5 NBA draft picks on a team and they couldn't win a goddamn game.
Yikes.
I hope they don't talk about that. That was when I thought it was potentially over, but it's a whole new world now. Coach K coached a different style of basketball, and I can't thank him enough for his contributions. Ain't that right, AJ?
Yeah, I grew up a Duke fan, and when I was watching Duke and Coach K, they were rolling. I haven't watched them as of late. I hear they're not doing nearly as well as they did when I was a youngster. But
it's a new
Coach
game.
K, legendary.
It's a new game. The one and done's coming, okay?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to coach. Would you want to coach college basketball? If you want a chance to win the national title, I guess Baylor kind of went against the trend by doing it with – they didn't have just one and doners. But now, one dude can win you the national championship, one stud high school player.
Well, I don't think that can win you a national championship, but it can get you in the conversation. You're going to have a good team. The Zags, they brought in a freshman point guard, changed the entire thing. But that team was built and established. And that's what happens in March, That foundation, the one and done's built on sand.
That's right.
When you build, and you redshirt and you coach them up, and transform them from high school boys to young men,
Hell yeah.
That's how you win March Madness tourneys. And that's what Coach K was so damn good about. He had a football quarterback playing down there, Mr. Greg Paulson.
That's right.
Greg Paulson.
College basketball.
That's ultimately what it was. Is Coach K just knows, hey, I can't give the level of commitment because all I want these guys to do is respect the game. and he just can't do that anymore.
He's one of us! Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He said Cameron Crazy's getting a little bit too crazy. Let's calm it down a little bit, okay? And I thought that was maybe whenever it was over. And then when the reporter asked a question and, that whole thing happened.
You don't get it. Said something like that.
It's like, Coach K, we're trying. That's what we're asking. You know what I mean? But maybe Coach K, at the end of the run here, is kind of, I'm not saying Bob Knight and Coach K are similar at all, okay? Very different styles. But I assume whenever you're around a sport for so long and you see it change and they're right in front of you and maybe it's not working out how it always has worked out, you can probably build up a little bit of an angst towards it. And I think that reporter got it. I think the Cameron Crazy's got it. And next year it's going to be a lot of hat tipping, I think. I assume. Is this recruiting time? Is he still recruiting his last class here?
Well, there's no way that class isn't saying, okay, if Coach K's gone, I'm going to the G League or I'm going to the overtime league and I'm going to make $1 million this summer instead.
Maybe Coach K is realizing it's going to be much more difficult because the $1 million I've been offering them, it goes to their parents and their family. These other leagues just go right to their pockets.
Yeah,
so
deals.
Not going to be able to do that anymore. But Coach K, hell of a run.
Hey, they got to name his successor, I think, early so you could recruit with that. Like, hey, here's our next guy in line right here.
John Shire.
Great three-point shooter.
Yeah. Bring Wojciechowski back, man.
Gene Wojciechowski?
No.
Wojo.
No.
Point guard.
He's in Northwestern. He's building a program there.
I don't know who that is.
He came from Marquette. Yeah, I don't know. I think he'd be good at Duke, too.
I want to let you know, in this first time I've said this publicly, I think, Pitt basketball was the team that I grew up watching. I mean, they had the old buddy Julius
Fields,
who had
Page
Irvin,
Levance Field, Julius Page.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Anyways, he had a T-shirt on underneath.
Oh, yeah.
That team was swagged out. They used to come to Boyce Park, okay, where I learned how to play basketball. Okay, street courts.
Hell yeah.
That Pitt team used to show up and just hang 11 zip on every single team. It was awesome. They used to get into like a little bit of fights in there. That was the team I used to watch. Other than that, college basketball is tough to watch for me. I want to watch bad basketball. I'll go right down to YMCA right down here. I watch people miss jumpers all the time. You know what I mean? I could do that right down there. But I will say the Final Four was awesome to watch. The Houston, I think. Houston had a guy that jumped over another human, I think, while dunking, and I was like, God damn, that's very impressive. But Coach K has obviously done a lot. AJ, let's talk about some other things that are going on, especially with the Hammer Down boys in here. This fits in perfectly. The odds for Julio Jones' next home. Okay, and once again, we have to reiterate the fact that Julio Jones saga is a very interesting one because new coach, new GM, didn't know if he was going to be traded or not, got hurt last season, but still balled out at the end there, and is still Julio Jones. He then gets caught in a situation with Shannon Sharpe where our media source has told us that he did not know he was live on the air. I'm out of there. I just want to win. Yada, yada, yada. Now it's well known. It was a secret for a little bit, but now it's like, no, this is definitely, by the way, recorded conversation live on TV without somebody knowing it is a wild thing. I'm excited to see kind of the fallout from that as we move forward there. But like the thought of Julio going to these teams, in which teams are involved, is changing every single day. Now the Seattle Seahawks are allegedly the number one team that are going to get him plus 225 as of PointsBet. Then Tennessee Titans, who have been recruiting him actively, plus 250. Arthur Smith, the new head coach, just came from Tennessee, used to sleep on couches in the Tennessee Titans organization while printing off pieces of paper as the beginning days of his coach. The Eagles are allegedly involved. The Niners, the Patriots are still involved. The Colts aren't even on there. And Get Up this morning said the Ravens and the Rams are out. Schrager told us last week the Rams were out. He'll be joining us in about 11 minutes, by the way. We'll talk to him about that. AJ, where's he going, and why are the Colts not on here or the Packers on here, you think?
I don't know why those two teams might not be on there, but I want to talk to the guys that make these odds and say, okay, what are you basing this off of? Are they just watching like Get Up in different shows and getting a feel for it, or do they have legit sources inside these buildings?
I think they potentially know the same thing we know. Now, they might have deeper insiders or whatever, but just like draft night, remember, Mac Jones was going number 3 overall. He was locked in until me and others said that our sources said, nah, then those odds changed drastically. I think for that draft, and this is something else we got to learn, and we're learning right now, they might not have the inside information that we all think that they've had for so long with the sports books when it comes to potential things like this. The game, somehow they know what's going to happen. I don't know how sports books know what's going to happen. But when it's all this other shit, I don't think they have any more information than we potentially know because we scour the internet looking for stuff to talk about. They might, we don't know. At Tone Diggs here, COVID Cowboy, host of Hammered Down live every single day, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, youtube.com/Hammered Down. Odds are cooking out there. Seems like a lot of good odds. Where the hell's he going, and why are the sports books doing what they're doing?
Yeah, on Hammered Down, we talked to multiple people who make the lines and stuff at sports books, and they have lost like the last 3 or 4 years every single draft because we know just as much as they know because they're paying attention to the reports just like we are. So it's the same situation here. They're paying attention to the reports. We're paying attention to reports. I don't think they know anything more than we do.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to go to the Patriots because the Patriots traded a number 2 for Mohamed Sanu. So if the new GM, Fontenot, down in Atlanta, can't just trade a number 2 because then he would be saying Julio Jones is the same value as Mohamed Sanu. He can't do that.
Nah, situations are situational. We're at a different time.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
So you think it has to be a 1?
If it's going to New England. I think Seattle, who wanted a B a lot last year, potentially will make that trade. Something like that. I like Seattle right now.
Yeah, and that's just because they are the front runners or because you just like the way they've come
No, because they have showed interest in the past couple of years of trying to get another wide receiver for that core.
Plus 225 right now. Really good money right now if you want to bet.
And then you thought like Julio was like, I want to go to a place that wins, but he doesn't have a no trade clause. So it's not like he's...
Yeah, but who told us? Somebody told us.
They want to do right by him, though. They said want to do right by him.
Yeah, who said that? Ian, too? Ian Rapport said that, or did the Falcons say that?
Don't they want to do more right by him themselves, though? Don't they want to look out for number 1 first?
Was that before or after he went on national TV and said, I'm out of there?
Well, see, I think that is why the Falcons were potentially so mad. I think Rappaport or somebody told us. I forget who it was, and maybe Schrager will know more on this in about 8 minutes. But the Falcons were so pissed off about it because they probably had an understanding like, hey, we will move you on, we'll kind of take care of you or whatever. But now you're on TV saying, I'm out of there, I want to win. Like, it kind of didn't come up. And Julio, I assume, is like, I didn't come on. Yeah. You can't hold that. I mean, that is, and that paralegal on Twitter said Shannon might be going to jail 20, 30 years.
Yeah, 15 to life.
20, 30 years.
Get used to jail.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you get good days served with that sentence either.
No.
I think
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I do think they'll respect him a little. Like, they're not going to send him to the Eagles.
Yeah, and the Eagles being involved is...
They drafted a wide receiver number 1 overall the last 2 years.
But maybe Howie Roseman's like, yeah, we're in on everything. Didn't somebody tell us that there's some GMs who want to know every single trade that's potentially happening, so they'll like call in and be like, but they can be perceived as interested though because they are always working the phones to see who's doing what. But then I wonder how many times they actually make moves. If I'm a GM, by the way, I would want to hear everything. Because it's hard to get information, I think, because I was told by a source, I don't know if this has been public or not. Oh boy, see, this is going to be an issue.
Here we go.
Now I hear something, but it happened a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, it won't come back up, so I won't have to reference it. But what if I am referencing it later? It's a blind bid. So whenever you're trying to trade for someone, it's blind. So you're trying to gather information from either, allegedly, this is from my sources, you're trying to gather information from insiders potentially, and even if you get burnt, you probably don't listen. You're trying to figure out who and what other people are offering. It's completely blind on the other side. And then you could potentially get from a team like, hey, you are nowhere near, by the way. Or, hey, you are not going to be able to catch what we're getting. Or like, I've heard that's how that whole thing works.
How did you think it went? Like, how else would it go?
I don't know. I just assume that.
It's just like you're bidding on, if you're a contractor and say you're building a house and you have 5 different companies bid on building it, they're blind bids as well.
Yeah, and I understand that happens in business, but you just would think that in the league, you would, I don't know.
They can take a guess. That's probably one of the toughest things. Like, take a guess. Hey, we don't want to insult them with our trade offer, but we also don't want to offer 3 times what the other teams are.
I like the fact that it is still kayfabe.
Yeah.
I like the fact that still exists, because I would assume at some point some GM got upset for something that they weren't offering and maybe even tried to make it like a more transparent thing. I like the fact that they don't know, but it's literally, you have no idea what everybody else is pitching for somebody. That is, when I was at Meekum, you can overpay if you know, too.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that is something.
Hey, do you think the guy that was bidding against you just worked for Meekum and that's his gig, obviously, to bid everything up?
No, but I did think after watching Storage Wars about dropping it on that guy, though. You know what I mean? When I backed out. I actually backed out on the video. I'm like, I just got another 20 grand for fucking Meekum. You're welcome, you know? And then they're like, just stand up and say 100,000. I'm like, that's a moment, I guess.
That's a good idea, actually.
I haven't been able to drive a Jeep, by the way, for a chance of rain every single fucking day. Don't have the ceiling on, you know what I mean? I took the roof off at the MetLife, and I don't know how to put it back on because it was a super sophisticated one. So I got to get one of those tarps that they tie onto that thing.
What kind of seats?
You should hear what I tried to buy
Would it
this
get
morning.
ruined it?
What's that?
Would it ruin it if it got rained on? Like, what are the seats made out of?
I don't know. They are leather. I'd assume they are waterproof. I'd assume there's a waterproof, with everything else they put into this thing.
Drive that thing through like some creeks and stuff. Have the water come up to like the doors.
Hey, I am a crick boy, by the way, and we do have a.
Hold on, you posted a video, a story last week. I remember. What you say? Just jeeping, dude, or whatever you said. It made me so mad.
Well, I mean, I was on the trails. I was hitting the trails. Wait till you see me in a creek.
You were driving through like a little walking trail in a nature reserve.
No, wrong. No, that was jeeping, dude. A 4x4.
How obnoxious is your Jeep wave to other people?
Oh, I go out the top. I go right up the top. I go right up the top. I go right off the stick, right to the top. Peace sign. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. I'm having a good time with it. Back in high school, I had a Jeep, believe it or not. And it was called Jeep Lightning, and that thing was anything but. Couldn't go to speed limit on most roads. And but it had 212s in the back, and they did not work either. So, I mean, it was a two-seater that we had 5-6 people in every once in a while. And I had the coolest. Left hand on the wheel, deuce up, very natural. And my horn was like a good horn, too. Like, you'd give it a little pop, and it'd be like a little bark. You know what I mean? Like, press one button, Jeep Lightning might bark. You know what I mean? And I was very active with that thing. It lost its fucking voice my senior year because of how often I was a big beeper guy in big wave. Now I go straight off the top, straight off. I mean, people are saying best Jeep waver in town. I've not missed one Jeep yet, I assume at some point I'll get, tired of waving to them. I've not missed one, and we have connected every single time. So I'm super pumped about it, AJ. Thanks for asking. I almost bought a plane this morning.
How'd that happen?
Let's get to a break. Let's get to a break. We got Peter Schrager on the other side. We'll ask him about everything happening with Julio and Aaron. Pretty fascinating. I've never been a part of this one. I bought a lot of stuff. I've never been a part of a plane acquisition.
Are you bidding? You're bidding on a plane right now?
I don't know if it's a bid, but this is a blind thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get you that Honda of the Sky so you can fly over every day. You said if I get you one, you'll fly over.
Yeah. Get one. You could park it here, man. I'll pay for your hangar fee here.
Ooh. Well, I learned those are expensive, dude. That's pretty. In the bar graph, it was like about that big on the bar graph that I saw. The hangar expenses.
Everything with a jet is very expensive.
Well,
we know you only fly on jets, so.
Well, I'm getting you a prop.
Yeah, gladly. Anything. I would love it.
No way, dude. How do you get? We parked next to some little tiny one. We parked next to some little tiny one at some FBO, and. By the way, we have to in Indianapolis. Okay, there are pros to having your company in Indianapolis, having a media company in Indianapolis. Everything's very affordable. There are some cons, okay? Have to travel sometimes. There's some things. In the Indianapolis airport is great at connecting you in like 4 or 5 cities to get to your destination.
Yeah.
So they are maybe the best in the country. Phil had to experience it yesterday. Had a 3.5-hour layover. It just drained his entire day out of there. So we literally have to do it, okay? So it is a real thing. But we parked next to this one plane that looked like it was the size of like your jaw, okay? Tiny little plane. And these 2 people were just walking right into it. I'm like, probably never gonna see those people again.
Good luck.
How do they, I don't know how you do it.
Thousands and thousands of those tiny planes flying around the world every single day.
I know, so many. But it's hard to get my mindset past like the Wright brothers flew in something that was more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
Have we not come far enough to knock it on that thing? I don't know. I might be wrong. We hope you fly over. Pete Schrager will join us on the other side. He has his podcast, The Flying Coach or whatever. That's why we're talking about planes, obviously. And him and Sean McVay are hosting a podcast for Spotify over there.
Yep.
It is good conversation.
Very good.
Cliff Kingsbury was his guest this time. It was awesome. I'm excited to talk to Schrags about all the inside information and his podcast and more. Peter Schrager joins us in 4 minutes. This is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
For every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. Yeah. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comment section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd be 3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're going to puke?
Oh, I do.
And that milk looks ice cold, too.
No!
Beer that broke my heart. Hey, one more.
I'm getting lightheaded now. 25 more seconds.
Yep. Now we go. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not great. Oh, God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Oh, God, God. Yikes.
Okay, here we go. Boy. Huh? Say hello to NyQuil and Ambien. Night, night. Night, night. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Good night. Woo! Woo! Straight to the face. That's all she wants. I mean, that's... Thank you, ref. Thank you, pal. Thank you, fans. Pow! Right in the kiss him. All right, here we go. Woo!
McAfee at the top of the key. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Step back. 3 for the win. It's good! Smash! It's not Sunday because the bank is open!
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. Joining AJ, myself, and the boys to talk about one of my new favorite listens.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy to get into my rotation of things that penetrate my ear holes. Okay, we all know that I have the attention span of a gnat. But this Flying Coach podcast that old Schrager is putting out has been awesome to see a different side of coaches. Got a chance to listen to parts of the Cliff Kingsbury one today. It was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the host of Flying Coach and also Emmy-nominated host of Good Morning Football. Much cooler person than any of us could have imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager. Hey! That boy Schrags.
I'll take it. I got to say, the inspiration for the Flying Coach podcast, a lot of it is the banter that you guys have. I've said that before to you, but it's Sean McVay and I co-hosting, and we had Cliff on, and Kingsbury, you see the pictures of him and he's doing the stanky leg dance, and you see him sometimes at the club in pictures, and you're like, what's this guy all about? He's the real deal. He comes out and he's hilarious in this thing, starts right out of the gates on the podcast and is busting Sean's balls for being shirtless, drinking rosé in the first scene of Hard Knocks this season. And then he tells a story. They tell a story that I'd never known, that I think everyone should listen to this podcast, where essentially it was a meaningless Week 17 game last year. Both teams weren't going to the playoffs. And Kingsbury calls McVay before the game, like hours before kickoff, and is like, I need 2 field passes. And McVay's like, what are you talking about? You need 2 field passes. And we're about to coach against each other. I need 2 field passes. The game was in the LA Coliseum. It was the last game at the LA Coliseum. And it turns out it was for a European Instagram model that Kingsbury had met and wanted to get her on the field before the game. And I'm like, this stuff is not being on ESPN or NFL Network. So they're all laughing about it. And then Sean's like, it didn't really work out. And then Cliff said, yeah, well, I won the pregame. And then Sean was like, I bet you won the postgame too. So this is what we're dealing with. It's a different side of these coaches. But if you're a real football geek, and Pat, I think your fans would love it. It's a lot of stuff on like, where'd you discover that play? Do you steal from certain coaches in your play? Because both these guys are offensive, forward-thinking guys, and they have so much respect for each other. So it's been a real thrill. It's called Flying Coach. It's a podcast. 60 minutes. Kingsbury blew me away. I didn't think he had it in him like that. He was a fantastic interview subject, and I don't think I've ever seen him like that.
Cliff Kingsbury, I think he was obviously backup quarterback in New England. I think AJ, you know him from the Kentucky Derby. Always felt as if from the pictures I've seen of him, like, okay, bro, like that's a guy I would like to talk to. Is that what you're learning, I think, through this whole thing? I assume you're friends with McVay, obviously. You told stories about being at the Senior Bowl together whenever he was lower in the whole thing, just having beers together and kind of seeing these people grow. It feels like from listening to Flying Coach that these coaches they're just football guys that just love football, who just so happen to be next level football IQ. I really appreciate what you're doing, getting this side of these coaches, because they're normally the most guarded people on earth. I think it's really good shit what you're doing, dude.
Dude, I appreciate you saying that so much, and I think that's the goal. McVay doesn't have to do this. The money it's negligible. Like he doesn't need to be doing this during the season, during the off season. It's just 10 episodes. We're bringing on different head coaches. We had LaFleur, we had Saleh, now we're doing Kingsbury, and the whole point was like no coach speak, like none of the cliches, none of the stuff. And if there is coach speak in it, we edit it out afterwards, and we're like, let's just get to the better parts and the stories. And I think the thing with Cliff is he says it about Sean. He's like, the rosé and the shirtless photos and you jumping into the pool and all that on Hard Knocks. But he's like, I laugh because I know how much you are just all about ball. That like even while you're sipping on your rosé, you're thinking about ball. And I think at the end of the day, all these guys are football obsessed. And I tell a story in the podcast that, we're setting up logistics of when we're going to record, and I send a text at like 11 o'clock Eastern on a Tuesday night, and I wake up for Good Morning Football on the East Coast at 5 a.m. And I wake up, and at 5:55 a.m. Eastern, Kingsbury's texting and McVay's texting, and I'm like, whoa, it's 3 a.m. locally. I ask them about it. They're like, yeah, we're both play callers and we both draw our offensive game plan. So before the stuff of like usual head coach duties gets up, that's where we get our best offensive stuff going, from like the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. hours when no one can bother us. And I'm like, there's a reason these guys are where they're at. They're wired a little differently.
Yeah, and the European models are up. Go ahead, AJ.
Schrager, are there any like when you talk to coaches around the league that are potential head coaches, like those guys that are getting interviewed for jobs, is there any resentment among the defensive coaches that all these offensive coaches get all the love and they're these young offensive gurus and defensive guys? I know Bob Saleh is in New York, but it seems like the offense is the guys that at least get the headlines.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of resentment towards McVay's early success. And that stuff you hear secondhand a lot of times. I'm not getting it directly, but some of the underlining tones of these conversations are that a lot of coaches were looking for him to lose to Belichick, and were relieved that he lost to Belichick because it was a little bit too much too soon. But what Cliff says is that Sean's early success opened the door for all of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Cliff was fired at Texas Tech and had a losing record, and the very next football season was the head coach of an NFL team. And it's solely, he says, because of the stuff that Sean McVay broke open. So I think from a defensive standpoint, we're going to get some of those coaches on. But to your point, AJ, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot. And like Vic Fangio is not a relatable thing because there's a 30-year age gap. Belichick is 30 years older. I think these younger coaches, with the exception of Bob Saleh and Brandon Staley, there's not a ton that have been given that opportunity. And I think there might be a wave back to that, but it would take some great success from Saleh or from the Chargers, where they're just locking down these offenses, for these owners to not fall in love with the offensive guru.
Well, if Vrabes gets in there, Tennessee has success, and then Motor City Dan Campbell is kind of changing maybe the narrative on who or what you hire. But I like the fact that Cliff Kingsbury has enough, self-awareness to be like, yeah, Sean McVay got me this job. Because the whole world was like, if you had a cup of coffee with Sean McVay, you were getting a head coaching job. I think LaFleur was a part of that. Zach Taylor and Cincy was a part of that. Cliff was a part of that. He was the offense coordinator for USC for 5 months or whatever. That's what he was doing.
I think it was 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And listening to Sean talk on there, it makes a lot of sense why he just has like Monday night, Sunday night, any gig that he wants waiting on him. He is an incredibly cool dude. Happy to hear that, because it seems like the mic'd up situations is he's a good leader. Seems like he has a great amount of accountability for people. He's young. He's well liked. It's just, I'm happy to see that he is like a guy as opposed to just a robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's self-deprecating when he doesn't have to necessarily be, which I think is it's a good quality to have, and a lot of us do it, but a lot of us do it because you feel like you should do it. But he's beaten the Cardinals 8 times in a row, and they laugh about it a little bit, and Cliff gives it to him. But right back, he's like, well, I haven't beaten the 49ers the last 4 times we played, and I don't know what it's wrong. I can't, he talks about it like that. So everyone looks to McVay as this young, up and coming meteoric rise. It's his 5th year now. He's got a lot of ups and downs, and for some reason that Super Bowl keeps on coming up on the podcast. And finally, in the episode that we just had, he's like, all right, enough on the reliving that loss to Belichick. I get it. And he knows. And I think it's important to be real, be honest, but to any of your real friends, you have to be self-deprecating. You have to be able to poke fun at yourself, and you have to be able to acknowledge that sometimes it doesn't always go perfectly well.
Yeah, and some people have a God complex in the position that he's in, so it's nice to see that he doesn't. I mean, he was hired at the age of like 21 or something like that. It was absurd what he's been able to accomplish. Let's talk about some other news around the NFL. Excited about listening to the rest of Flying Coach, especially with what you're talking about with Cliff Kingsbury opening up about. Congrats on the success there. We appreciate it in the sports media community here. Now let's get to the sports media community. There's nothing to talk about, dude. What I was told, the pre-June 1, post-June 1 is when these contracts change and everything's going to happen. Yesterday I wake up, I'll wait till 4 o'clock. It's going to be a big deal. Then this morning I wake up, there's nothing happening. Was I hoodwinked in this entire thing? Is anything going to happen with Julio, Aaron? What are the Broncos going to do? Is there anything going to happen anytime soon from what you're hearing? Are we in for
I don't think it was going to be one of those deals where at 401, but I will say we knew that nothing was going to happen until June 1st. And to really quickly explain it, it's really complicated salary cap stuff, but essentially teams save a ton of money on their own salary cap if they can trade these players after June 1st. So where Julio Jones would have been $24 million of dead cap money for the Atlanta Falcons, it's now something like $7 million in dead cap money. With Aaron Rodgers, if they're to trade him before June 1st, they're eating a huge cost. But if they trade him after June 1st, it's a significantly less cost. So I don't know.
By the way, great explanation. Not that complicated. Great explanation. Right? You made it. You dumbed it down very well.
It does get a little hairy though when you start talking about dead cap money and bonuses and deferrals and all that. And it's hard to me to even understand it. And I do it for a living. So just that's what you need to know. Now the floodgates could open and we could see things. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen though. With Julio, the market's really interesting because I think they're looking for a first-round pick, and we've heard that. I'm not sure if a first-round pick has been offered yet, but I also think a second-round pick and like a legitimate NFL starting wide receiver would be enough to get that job, to get that trade done. It's who's going to be willing to cough that up, and who do they value as a legitimate number 1 or number 2 wide receiver that is young enough and makes sense fiscally that the Falcons can do it. But I think at this point, it's going to take a major swing back the other way in the pendulum for Julio to be with the Falcons next year.
Michael Pittman.
Hey, Schrags, when you talk to, do you talk to your contacts and coaches and everybody about the whole Aaron Rodgers saga going on right now? And I'm curious, what they think about it.
Yeah, last week was some display on Instagram, and everyone kind of giggles on the side because it's like that is a different deal than what we're used to with these NFL quarterbacks. And he's out in Hawaii with Miles Teller and his fiance and Miles Teller's wife, and they are putting it out there publicly, like this pure bliss, this happiness of ukuleles and Taylor Swift and whatever else in the rain fountains and whatever they got going on in Hawaii. But truth of the matter is, when he was at his...
Those are called waterfalls, Pete.
Waterfalls, what do I call it? Rain fountains?
What are you... Shrags, get out of the fucking streets, dude. Get out of the streets of Brooklyn, dude. Rain fountains?
I live in concrete. I don't rain fountain. What do you call it? A waterfall?
What do you call it? Yeah, the world. I mean, this is unbelievable. But you're right.
But AJ,
bliss.
Long story, like when you're at that point, you're so far from football, I think. And I think even Miles Teller put out like an Instagram post, which I didn't quite find. I don't know. It was supposed to be funny. I don't even know where he's like, I'm signing with the Packers. Funny. Like, was it funny? I don't know.
Whoa. I think it was funny. I think it was hilarious.
Not at all.
I think it was very funny.
Trolling. It's almost trolling a little bit of like, look, we know what's going on in the news and on sports media.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. AJ missed that one.
I thought it was funny. I laughed. Good pop out of me. I know that.
I like Teller. I like what he's got going on. I like that Whiplash.
Man. Top Gun 2 is going to be great.
Top Gun 2 is going to be sick.
Oh, it's going to be so good. He's going to
kill it.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say, to your point, AJ, I feel like when you're at that point and you're so happy, all that, like, okay, let's start gearing up Jordan Love. Let's see what we can do and let's try to get him going because you don't know. It's unpredictable whether or not Aaron's going to come back. But when he's at his pure happiness, that Zen-like moment, and even then on Kenny Mayne couldn't be like, I'll be back. I'll figure it out. We're going to talk. I think we're still a little bit far away.
They're saying in the building, okay, these LaFleur press conferences where we're like, I can't fathom my life without Aaron Rodgers. He's going back into a meeting and they're like, maybe Jordan Love's, the time is now. They have that. They've had that full thought. There isn't like
no. That's my assumption.
Oh, pundit there. Okay, got it. Pundit
the insider thought of it is that they're just desperately hoping that Aaron comes back. I mean, and LaFleur's been. I think he's handled it really well with the media. He's been completely transparent in that.
History.
Gosh, this guy is that good, and he came on the Flying Coach podcast last week, and he clearly was like, "Hey, great players make great coaches. I'm 26-6 in my first 2 years. Don't get it twisted. I have number 12 at quarterback." Like, he knows, and a lot of these coaches do have the God complex where it's like, just give me any quarterback, we'll figure out a way to win. LaFleur's the opposite. He appreciates great players and understands what Aaron Rodgers means. Now, I don't think Rodgers has any issues with LaFleur. I don't think he has any issues with the players. I think this is a front office thing strictly. And as of right now, they're walking a tightrope. I think they're hoping Aaron comes back, but they also have to get this other quarterback up and ready because until Aaron walks in that door, the Saints game week 1 does not get any further away. That's still happening.
Got a text from AJ. You're done with your questions. That's awesome. Good news. Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Pete, there's been some reports that Matt Patricia is the heir to Bill Belichick. Is there any truth to that, or can you tell everyone right now that's all bullshit?
No, I don't know if there's truth or there's not truth. The fact of the matter is there's a really interesting dynamic there where you've got 2 Belichick children who are coaches on the staff. You also have Josh McDaniels, who's been waiting in the wings for quite a long time. And then you also have Matt Patricia. But Belichick has given no indication that he's hanging it up anytime soon. So I've asked for years now, like, is the reason McDaniels didn't take that Colts job is because he was given some agreement under the table that he will be the next Patriots head coach? I don't think there was that agreement, and it certainly wasn't made public if there was. And I think it's still up for debate as to say who's the next one. But I know how much they respect Patricia in that building, and I know that Patricia's experience in Detroit might not have gone perfect as a head coach, but that doesn't mean that there's any less respect for him in New England for the work that he does.
Yeah, he's the last one who has to sign everybody's contract. And also in the behind the scenes Do Your Job episode 9, Bill Belichick goes, "Matt, you okay with this?" And he goes, Yeah. And then they draft Matt Jones.
Go get McCorkle.
Yeah, give me Michael McCorkle Jones.
Hell yeah.
What a name, by the way, Shrags. How come you guys don't call him that on Good Morning? Hey, wait, real quick about Good Morning Football.
Yeah.
The guy did get drafted, and I'm happy for him, but did you guys, was that a mission of yours to get that one offensive lineman drafted? You guys had him on every day.
Yeah, Quinn Miners. We really liked him. Big belly guy out of Wisconsin, Whitewater. We
he was
pushed
cool
really
guy.
hard. We pushed really hard to get him drafted. He's a Division III kid. He went in the second round to the Broncos. We were thrilled. So yeah, I think he was supposed to go in the 6th round, but his Good Morning Football career made him a 2nd round pick, which we're proud of.
I didn't know he existed. I became a fan. I assume there were some people watching Good Morning Football around every NFL facility. This is the 10th time they had him on the fucking show. Guy's pretty good every time. I could hang out with that guy if we really had to. Go ahead, Ty.
Pete, it's been reported that Big Ben really loves Dwayne Haskins' stroke and that he could throw, a football through a car wash without getting wet. Is he the heir apparent to Big Ben? And does Big Ben hate Mason Rudolph? Since I don't think I've ever heard him say something like that.
True. He's never heard that from Mason.
They're going to battle it out. And I don't know Matt Canada's offense. So it's a new offensive coordinator. Obviously, he was the quarterback's coach. We'll see how that goes. But, gosh, Dwayne Haskins was a 15th overall pick and just wasn't accountable as a starter. That's the word on him in Washington. If you can build that around, he's still so young, that he obviously had all the physical traits. He's a good kid. Everyone says he's a good kid. It's just there was problems with his leadership abilities, if that's even a term.
Smacking cheeks, dude. Yeah. They're smacking cheeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, look, he's going to Pittsburgh, and they don't tolerate that kind of stuff.
Bad strip clubs too.
Well, look, he's a backup, so we'll see. But Mason Rudolph did sign the contract. They did bring him back, and I know a lot of people in the NFL think Mason Rudolph could be a starting quarterback someday.
Who says that?
I've heard it.
Who says that?
Hey, he looked good week 17 too against the Brownies. He played well.
He did.
Swinging it.
Had some real. And then, by the way, him and the retired basketball player Myles Garrett, they had their little moment where they got past everything, which was good news. But I don't think I've ever seen Mason Rudolph play and think, you know what, this guy's the future of any franchise. I don't think so. But by the way, might be an incredible backup, which is a very good job and a necessity of a job to have somebody. I don't know if he's breaking down homework or watching film for Big Ben Roethlisberger. What's going on, dudes?
Well, no, you say he might be an incredible backup. He's not.
How do you know?
We've seen him play.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the day-to-day alongside, Ben, the new Ben.
Oh, well.
That's Steelers fan. He hates Mason. That guy hates Mason. He took
fine.
Miles. Yeah, I don't know.
He's not alone. Look, the Steelers have been through Landry Jones' experience, the Mason Rudolph, the Duck Hodges. Great. If Haskins is the next guy, great. But, last year in the offseason, there was a lot of words that there was a lot of whispers that maybe Jameis comes in as a backup to Ben and takes over, maybe Cam. They didn't. They stuck with it. So now Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph will battle it out to see who's the next guy. But I would think Mason right now is the two. I would think so.
Last thing before we let you go, and can't thank you enough for joining us, Schrager. You're very busy. You're winning Emmys and shit. You know what I mean? You're doing
nominated. Didn't win shit yet.
Who won?
We don't find out till next week.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. We're not sleeping? Are we carb loading? You know what I mean? Are we getting ready for the big day?
Carb loading. I'm like Rocky in Rocky IV. I'm out in the wilderness just training, just getting ready for the big day.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, will you guys get to give a speech and everything?
Probably Burleson will take the mic and go like 7 minutes long.
Man. Bars though, he'll have some. He'll have something that is incredibly deep.
Spoken word poetry.
It'll be very good. It'll be very good. You know what I mean? Yeah. He is great with his words.
Silky tongue.
Yeah, he is. Is there an award show you got to go to?
There used to be like a black tie event in New York City at like Lincoln Center, but now I think it's just on Zoom. I don't even actually know.
On Zoom? You guys are sitting in there like Jay Sudds wearing his hoodie in London. They're just months like, come on.
Jay Sudds in a tie-dye hoodie.
You remember that?
Lasso.
Yeah, should have won more, by the way. I'm happy season 2's coming. If you were up against them, you had no shot. But I think you guys can win.
So it's best daily sports show, and our opponents are I think it's Total Access, the nighttime show on NFL Network, which is like our like twin brother. And then we also are against PTI, which we lost to before, and then like Dan Patrick's show. So I don't know. I don't know if we have a chance, but I'm hoping we win. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope you give a speech, Riggs. That's all I'm hoping for. Can't wait to listen to.
Dude, with Burleson and Kyle Brandt, there's no chance I'm getting that microphone if there even is an opportunity. Those two will just go.
You got to hold up. You got to have like signs on your Zoom. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, bingo. Yeah. So we got, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager. AJ, how you doing, dude?
Good. Why? What happened?
You sent me a text saying you don't have any more questions or whatever, you know?
No, I didn't. Not today.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's what you said. You said you didn't have any more questions. You can't wait to listen to Flying Coach. Is that what did you mean you were going to listen to Flying Coach? What are you saying?
No, I talked about Flying Coach, and I said I know Schrags makes the show very good. He's a great host, but I did not text you today that I don't have any questions. I have done that in the past for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, publicly to old buddy yesterday, who's maybe my new fantasy football go-to.
I wasn't ready, man.
We clipped that after the show yesterday.
That's why you pointed to me like, I'm like, sorry, I don't. Right now I don't, but I did have one, and you cut him off. You let him go.
Yeah, but you basically were like,
not a chance.
Well, your face reminded me of Jim Carrey when he fake puked in Dumb and Dumber when you first saw me.
Yeah, I like Schrags a lot. In that Flying Coach, I mean, let's be honest, I did not listen to it, but Ty did.
I have listened to it.
Ty listened to it. I heard clips. Ty has sent me clips. I've not listened to the whole thing, but Ty is a tough critic. I mean, he's a very tough critic. He doesn't listen to our show anymore because how much he is a tough critic. But you say it's an incredible show, right?
I really like it. There's only 3 episodes so far, but got about a 30-minute drive to work. It's nice, there and back. It's a very. Schrags is great, but McVay is also awesome. He's very fun to listen to.
He was allegedly offered the Monday Night Football gig. You remember that?
Yeah, they were like recruiting him. It does make a lot of sense. I think he's a guy that eventually may do that, and I think he'll be really good.
And he can do Monday Night Football for 10 years.
He should do Monday Night Football and still coach as a head coach in the NFL. Try to do that someday.
All right, think about this. I got real high and thought of this the other day. What if we, as a company, okay, because I'm having these conversations now with people, okay, and it's like Shark Tank, dude. And my only experience from any of this, I didn't take any business class, is Shark Tank. Okay, so that's like kind of, I have that mindset. What if we were to go in and pitch somebody who had an endless supply of money, which there are people now at this point in the game have an endless supply of money. People that I've talked to, by the way, which is absurd to think about. I should not be in these convos. I am. By the way, I think I keep up too, which is pretty cool. We have them all documented. I guess history will be the judge whenever we display them in the future. If I was keeping up in these conversations or getting run around, that'll all get figured out. What if we pitched, let's buy a team. Let us run a team. Let us run a team. Okay, here's our business. This is what we're worth. This is what we think we can give you. Let's buy the Chargers. We'll run the team while running a media operation. We'll get to do. Listen, we're not running shit. Okay, we will hire a general manager. Mm-hmm. We will do that whole thing. Let us buy a team. You know what I mean? Let the business people do the business people. Let's get in this thing. Because allegedly the Bears are about to be for sale. Yep. The Chargers are about to be for sale. I feel like we're on pretty good terms with the NFL. I think the NFL would potentially give us a green light to get past that whole thing. I'm not sure other bazillionaires aren't. But if you're a bazillionaire looking to get into the NFL, hey, come on through us, man.
Come on.
Come on in. I think we could potentially get in there. That would be great. We just own a team out of nowhere. Now, I came back down to earth both mentally and physically, and that's probably going to be a tough pitch, but that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
No, I think that's a great pitch. We just got to know who we can pitch. We know Bill Gates is out of the question. Like Connor's slandered him enough. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is definitely one of those guys you could take that to. Put a deck together. I'll come with you.
Bro, I understand publicly we know of these bazillionaires. There are these venture capitalist companies, these VCs, you know what I mean? All the people that are driving the market. They have trillions of dollars, these people. They're all the rich people, put all their money together, and then there's just a couple people that make decisions on where, we'll put 10 million here, we'll put 100 million here, we'll put $1 billion here, and if we lose, who cares? We just got to hit on something. And if we hit on something, it's going to be another multi-billion, maybe another trillion. It's insane what's going on. Not fair. Want to let everybody know. Don't love it, okay? Don't like that that's the way it is. We will try to change it. But now that it exists, let's go buy a fucking team.
Let's go.
Oh, you guys got $5-6 billion you just want to throw around? Hey, we'll do it. Hey, we'll do it day to day. Do whatever you got to do. Press conferences, handshakes, drafts. We'll hire somebody to do this. Don't even worry about it. It's going to be tough to sell, but I think we got it. I'll do a good deck. I'll have a good PowerPoint presentation on why we should get it. The NFL business is doing this. Seems like our era is doing the same thing whenever you look at most. Why don't we put those things together with your money? Let's go ahead and do that. You know what I mean, AJ?
I think that's a great pitch, and just make sure in your deck you get the good transition sounds and dissolve and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then maybe we'll even get like the
race car noise.
Oh, that's a gun. I mean the cha-ching.
Yeah.
NFL investors, possibly. We're never going to have a team. Let's get Hour 2 is wrapping up. Hour 3, you want to talk about anything in particular? Bill Cowher is releasing a book. You know who Bill Cowher is?
No, never heard of him. Tell me.
Okay, you might have heard of Bill Cowher, but I don't know if you know what Pittsburgh Bill Cowher is. Bill Cowher.
Yes, I do. That's how I know Bill Cowher.
Okay, but I'm about to say like how he's viewed in Pittsburgh though. Bill Cowher walks into a restaurant in Pittsburgh. There's still a standing ovation, and the chef that was working the line at Applebee's in the back comes out with an entire app spread and says, "Mr. Cowher, thank you for your service here." He is beloved. He's writing a book. I can't wait to hear it and read it. He did an interview with the Athletic's Ed Bouchette, who is formerly of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, OG in Pittsburgh as well, and basically talked about Spygate with New England, and if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, basically, which, by the way, every person in the history of the NFL has come out and said about New England. We'll talk about Bill Cowher's legacy on the other side and what he had to say, and a lot of other bullshit, AJ. Anything else people should get excited for in the hour 3?
Well, I'm excited to hear the real reason why he left the Steelers. I still don't know that.
He talked about that as well, and it is... it's going to humanize a man that I thought was just a machine, a warrior. We'll talk about that in hour 3, plus some phone calls, 1-833-4-McAfee. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, June 2nd, hour 3's in 6 minutes.
The goalie finds his way, and Sidney Crosby, the captain, the greatest of all time, according to Pat McAfee, he wins tonight, and that is my lock of the night. The Pittsburgh Penguins money line. Hell, you might as well take them -1.5 at plus 202. There's no chance.
Oh, no.
0% chance the Penguins lose tonight.
What's this all about?
I mean, I've been listening to you for the last 48 hours. Talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm a fan. That's all you've
heard. Talk about the Stanley Cup. Talk about Sidney Crosby.
This is because your Red Wings stink,
and you're not in the
you want to take it out on a real hockey.
Get out. And that is why I'm taking the Pens.
You're
Do you not think they're going to win tonight?
You're banned. You're banned.
Just because the Red Wings, can't make it into the fucking dance, doesn't mean you need to waltz your ass over to the Pittsburgh Penguins like you did to the Steelers.
Put a puck right in his teeth, dude.
We led off the Pat McAfee Show today by you saying, basically, hockey stinks and no one cares about hockey. Here we go.
That's not how
Penguins. Here we go.
That's not the chant, dude.
Penguins going to the Stanley Cup.
Get out.
Here we go.
That's not how chant goes, dudes.
God damn it!
Let's go, Pens. Oh! What the fuck?
Oh, no. We have a casualty. Oh, no.
Mitt, I'm going to need you to zoom in on that. I'm going to need you to lower the camera.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Take your Mickey Mouse plate and get out.
Mick, get rid of the money line.
Kindly leave.
Other camera.
Now scroll down. Zoom down, Mitt.
Other camera.
I'm so confused.
Yes. Other camera.
I'm so confused.
Right
there. Why'd you do that? Mitt, with the Nick and Gumpy camera, will you zoom in on the ground, please?
What happened? What I
Thank
just
you.
left?
He happened.
Nick spiked that plant.
I can't have it, Pat. I only care about a few things in this world,
you can
you
zoom
know
out
that,
now,
and
Mitt.
hockey is one of them. The Pittsburgh Penguins are right at the top of that goddamn list, and he's pissing all over him right now.
I mean, fair. I mean, this is going to take a while to clean up. There's shards everywhere.
Strap metal, dude.
Yeah.
Shrapnel.
Hey, thanks, Foxy. I have to pick that up now.
Probably, but where was that?
What's going on, though?
Connor's playing. It was on his...
So listen, Foxy.
What?
You fuck over his life?
Yeah.
Is what you did?
I
He
did.
said fuck over Connor's life. This is a trend now.
Do we not think that the Pens are going to win tonight? That's all they got to do.
We do.
We did.
That's all we got to do. We got to get a goalie in net that's not Swiss cheese, and we're all happy at the end of the day.
What happened? Like, what?
It's lucky.
Is this immediately after I left?
Yeah.
Fucking spike, dude.
You're lucky you weren't here, dude. You would have caught one in the neck, probably.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't risk.
But who has a cactus?
Connor. Oh, I would love to get Connor's thoughts on this plant being fucking broken. Luckily, the styrofoam is
so good. Just get this succulent out of my sight.
The death of succulent is not on me.
Foxy,
Go to hell, dude! Oh, you want to go to hell? Oh, you stupid fucking Penguins! Go! And I'm taking the Penguins! And I'm taking the Penguins! You just dropped the glove!
All right, good scrap, boys. Good scrap. Fucking stick tap.
Goddamn socially distant conflict. What do you guys do? What was this? We lost the thing.
Oh no, the
you
Iowa.
too fucking cool it down.
The Iowa.
Fight him. No. Okay?
The Hawkeye popcorn's on the.
Go to hell then!
Get the hell out of here!
Screw
Get
you!
out!
What are you doing?
The Hawkeye popcorn's done.
Just ready for
And I'm
war.
taking whoever's playing the Penguins because he's destroying the Steelers and the Penguins for you two clowns.
You guys need to figure it out. You hear me?
What are you still doing in here? You made your pick. Get out.
Fade Foxy.
Are you all right? Good scrap. Hey, good scrap.
I'm good, but
Fucking, I stick tapped you.
I'm physically fine, mentally destroyed.
Had to.
Guys ruined everything.
Call the money line. 1-833-462-2233.
Some people need to learn how to.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. The greatest hour in this show's history is about to happen. Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, hour 3 on the other side of this beat drop from Twine. Let's get to it. AJ Hawk, I have your bobblehead thing right here. All right, I see you right there in front of those books. I see you rocking the Centerville Elk t-shirt. Shout out to Centerville, Ohio.
Yeah, go Elks.
Let's go Elks, okay? Black and gold. They dress like the Steelers over there. Mm-hmm. They used to win games. I'm not sure the gritness level now that AJ refuses to go back and lives up there next to Wexner or whatever the guy's name is and all that. AJ, hour 3, let's get right to it. Jerry Jeudy says that Drew Lock, when he throws the ball, it's like a hard drill, like you know what I mean? And then when Teddy Bridgewater throws it, it's a little bit of a floater. Now, Peyton Manning didn't ever get accused of throwing a floater, but was told that he threw a lot of wobbly balls. Mm-hmm. And his response was, I threw a lot of wobbly touchdowns too. People forget. If you don't have the, A to B velocity, those quarterbacks are the ones that are great at putting it in a bucket on a dime whenever you need it. Is Teddy Bridgewater that type of quarterback? Is this quote being described differently than a shot at Bridgewater? Maybe, but I do like the fact that Jerry Jeudy's like, hey, Drew Lock's got a cannon out here. We're boys. The quarterback competition seems to be heating up, but will either of them be the QB for the Broncos this coming fall? I guess we have to wait and see in this whole thing. AJ, what did you read or get from this quote from Jerry Jeudy, one of the best young wide receivers in the league? Just needs to catch the ball all the time.
Well, whether Jerry Jeudy meant this as a shot or not to Teddy Bridgewater, I think Teddy will absolutely take offense to this, thinking like, "What you're saying? I throw a floater? Like, yeah, you should say when a floater is needed, when you need to put some touch on the ball, but when I need to put some zip on it, I can do the same thing."
Yeah, and by the way, Peyton, he threw a lot of floaters. There was a lot of balls but those floaters were landing in a direct spot every single time, and it was like thousands of reps with the wide receivers. It was unbelievable to get to watch. Not only the amount of work that the wideouts put in and the Peyton put in, but also the equipment managers who were there, like just the amount of reps that those things were happening. And I feel like Peyton needed it or whatever. I feel like that was his thing. But if you're that precise, you don't have to be, an absolute...
Accuracy is the number one thing, I think, in a quarterback. I think I've heard Mike Leach talk about that. Like, you can't coach accuracy. Like, when I'm looking at evaluating quarterbacks to bring in, strong arm, we want all that. That's great. But if a guy isn't accurate, like, you can only make him so much better. Like, you cannot take him to the next level if he's not an accurate guy.
This actually happened while I was playing quarterback against our defense back end. I was told I was throwing the ball too hard. Okay? Whoa. And that was a real thing by the defense coordinator. Throwing the ball too hard. I was like, all right, I'll dial it back. Okay, we're not playing Brett Favre this week, I guess. Let me get my arm back there. But that's not necessarily a good thing, right? Like, it's not necessarily a good thing just to throw a rocket every single time. There's so much that goes into every single pass. Even screen passes are complicated because the amount of touch you need to have it, let alone over a linebacker in front of a safety. It's a very fascinating quote. I should have looked into it more, but I immediately thought to myself, like, Peyton has had to answer this type of question in the past. Now, is Teddy Bridgewater and Peyton the same person and same quarterback? No, at this particular time, but I don't think it really matters how hard it gets there or how fast it gets there. Just that it gets there is all that matters. And if it doesn't, you're out. Drew Lock, is he the guy? Maybe. They got $30 million still. Are they trading for Aaron Rodgers? Ooh. This might not matter at all, Jerry Jeudy. You might be getting a guy who just puts the ball in a bucket however the hell he wants to do it.
Well, isn't a big part of it too? Like, you never really hear, like, it's a lot easier for people to talk about, like, how big of an arm a guy has. Like, every quarterback that's coming out, like, they're talking about
80 yards.
Yeah, exactly. And Zach Wilson's doing, like, the crossbody, throw it 60 yards up there, but, like, it still takes quite a bit of precision and accuracy. Like, he is dropping that in there. It's kind of floating in.
Jeudy did not mean for this to be a shot, I don't think, but I feel like the internet took it as one, and that's just what the internet is going to do. I want to let everybody know, Aaron Rodgers, he's on that Mount Rushmore. Tom Brady, he's on that Mount Rushmore. There's a commit to Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. Quinn Ewers. I was just going to tell you about it.
Quinn Ewers. Okay. I just learned of this dude yesterday. It's going to be tough for him to remain humble.
Yeah.
Okay, the kid has the best arm I've ever seen. One of the best bleached mullets I've ever seen in my entire life. Wears shit kickers on a regular basis. And is heralded as the number one guy. And at all these camps, he's fucking around throwing submarine sidearm throws, and they're better than everybody else. Quinn Ewers is going to be the guy. Okay, and he can deliver the rock. I assume, though, he can throw it 70, 80 yards. It feels like that is just something everybody can do at this point. And he's got that Rich Gannon. He's got the ability to go here. He's going down yonder. This Quinn Ewers guy's going up over top. He's got that flow.
Yeah.
The amount of shit talk, I assume he does too. If you do that with your hair and do all that, I assume the moxie is right there with you at all times. I'm a big Quinn Ewers fan. Kind of pissed he has to go to college. Wish we could get him in the NFL right now. You know what I mean?
I think he's only a junior in high school, right? He's going into his senior year now. So this dude, it's going to be a while before we see him. But yeah, what if he wanted to forego college? What do we have to do? Just go sit out a year, or maybe go play in the spring league or the new XFL?
I think you have to be 2 years removed from your high school to go into the NFL. I think that is what 3 years, 2 years. 3 years.
He's going to go light it up at Ohio State, man. But they have another guy coming in, another 5-star this year.
What's that? Sorry, we were talking about it because we think it's 3 years. 3 years since your high school. Say what you said again.
Is. Yeah, you can redshirt and then play 2 years and go. But they have another guy coming in, I think, this year who's another 5-star QB. So Quinn's coming in right behind him. He's not scared.
That kid should probably decommit.
Oh, man.
I mean, this guy shows up.
It's too easy.
This guy shows up on campus. Hide your girlfriends, and your starting spot quarterback is in jeopardy, my friend. I mean, this is him just fucking around with a little sidearm 3-quarter release. Don't worry about it. Letting the hair flow. I mean, I love this kid.
Between him and Arch Manning, teams need to start tanking for these guys right now.
And I want to let everybody know, my kicking coach in college, his name was Jamie Cole of Cole's. Too fast, by the way, right there.
Yeah.
See that? Too fast. That ball's coming in too
Slow
hot.
it down.
He's going to have to learn, all right? He's going to have to learn that you don't always have to bust fingers. You know what I mean? Brett Favre never learned that. And Quinn Ewers seems to be a pretty similar character maybe to Brett Favre, and I love him. But my kicking coach, Jamie Cole, Cole's kicking, his son, JJ, is a quarterback over there in Iowa. He's like 6'10". He's got offers to Iowa State. So in my world, that I know about now that I know Quinn, feels like the future of the quarterback position is electrifying.
Yes.
I just want to let everybody know. Where's Arch going to go? Arch is going to go what? Alabama?
He should.
Because his uncle.
Tennessee. Go to Tennessee.
Ole Miss, too. They got deep ties at Ole Miss as well. They're from New Orleans down there, LSU. I mean, then I guess there's rumors that potentially Texas, because Sarkisian's there. That's a pro-style offense. Arch Manning has been running a pro-style offense since he was 4 years old, basically. The future of the quarterback position, and these are all people we've heard of who, are at these camps. There's going to be players that are going to pop up that we've never heard of before. I like the future of the NFL. It's going to get fast. But if Quinn Ewers gets in there, dude, fucking what team is he going to? I'm a fan of. All right? Probably not the Ohio State, because my only interaction with Ohio State fans is a bad one on a daily basis. I try to be a fan of the team. I try to support the team. I put my hard-earned dollars on that team. And what happens? Buckeyes and the Ohio State faithful spit on my fanhood. It's not a very inclusive bunch over there. They want everybody out, and that's why it's going to be tough to cheer for Quinn here for the next 4 years. But when he gets into the men's league, I can't wait for it, AJ.
So you're telling me you have a bad what's your bad interactions you have had with Ohio State people other than me?
I'm
the only one. No, the callers give it back to you.
That's what I'm
That's what he's saying.
That is what I'm saying. In front of millions of people, you have spit on me trying to be an Ohio State fan. You are the representative of the Ohio State for a lot of people. And every time I just try to get going, hey, here we go, hey. What is it? Come on. Gray and scarlet. Hey, here we go. Exactly. Let's earn some Buckeye things on the helmet. Hey, let's fly around, boys. Hey, Tressa didn't die for this. All right,
let's go, OSU.
Here we go. You know what I mean?
Urban. I mean, let's not forget the last time AJ didn't say Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts in the first round of the NCAA
That wasn't the
tournament.
last time. That was the first time.
Yeah. True.
And that was when it all started.
Beginning of the end.
OH.
That was basketball. That only applies for football, I think.
No, so you hate the basketball team. Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what he means. You elitist scumbag.
That's what I'm talking about.
Great head coach, great players.
Bruce,
don't need any fans that live in Indianapolis that are named Pat.
What's that all about, dude? There's a guy named Pat that I seen walking these streets. This guy's dressed up like fucking Big Nut every day.
That's right.
And you're just kicking him out. Yeah, you're just kicking him out. That's unbelievable. That's what we're talking about this entire time. Hey, that's Ohio.
Yep.
That's Ohio. That's Ohio. Bruce Arians said Kyle Trask, mentally, he's not far behind what Andrew did in the same offense, which is very interesting because I've told this story before. Andrew Luck showed up at OTAs 3 weeks late, 4 weeks late, because he had to finish his degree. And he made a check during the walkthrough, his first walkthrough, that was in the playbook so far ahead that nobody else knew what it was. BA actually had to be like, oh, whoa, wait, we're not there yet, okay? We're not there, we have to dial it back. He's saying Kyle Trask not far behind. Hey, I don't know exactly, I ain't no fucking doctor, but he ain't that far behind. He looks good out here. This is BA. He also said there's 10 players that don't even know that they are in competition for their position. They're not here, okay? So BA is trying to send shots to everybody that's not doing OTAs and saying, hey, need your asses back here. But Tom's got his crew. BA's got his crew. This thing is going to erupt at some point, I assume.
I mean, I think it's awesome from BA.
It's a joke, yes. I don't think it's real.
Yeah, of course. And he probably, I'm sure BA got some texts from maybe Tom and some other players, like just some friendly jabs back at him. I'm curious to see how he continues this Kyle Trask praise. Like, what does he say next about Kyle Trask? Where you don't say, like, oh, he's the most physically gifted guy I've ever seen. Like, so you don't ruin yourself if he doesn't work out.
Open competition.
Well,
the next step.
Well, at the beginning, I think he was trying to recruit Blaine Gabbert to his team. They just signed him to a 1-year deal, and he's like, hey, Blaine Gabbert's the most underappreciated guy in the NFL. Yeah. At Jacksonville, who knows what happened? Kind of seems like he's got his swag back. He is very, very good. We're fortunate for that. Blaine Gabbert doesn't come to OTAs. He goes and works out with Tom. He's like, oh, fuck that guy. Kyle Trask. This guy is unbelievable. Because I do believe that BA and that coaching staff enjoy, the OTA, all coaches. Hey, we need football. Hey, we need to be back on the field.
They get to coach. That's the only time they get to coach. They're just dying. Let me get on the field with my guys. That's all they want to do.
And also, this is a very new situation, and I haven't done enough research, but just thinking out loud and kind of my first reaction here, this is the first time that entire coaching staff has had a super duper veteran team, like super duper veteran team at all positions, basically. Guys know how to take care of their body. Guys are doing their own workouts. Guys aren't doing the OTAs like they're the young guys trying to learn the offense and learn what it's like in the NFL and earn a spot and everything like that. And I think BA has not changed his stance at all. I don't care. Old guys, young guys, fuck it, we're coaching, okay? We're playing. Your team stinks, my team's good. But when they get back in for training camp, that Buccaneers team going for the undefeated season, we know that. Chiefs are going to go for it publicly. Everybody's going for an undefeated season, but potentially two teams actually, make a public run at this thing, and I'm here for it.
You don't think the Lions are in that group of teams to make a run?
Motor City Dan Campbell is going to have those boys believing every single week.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when that lion that's going to bite off his arm is jogging out as just a little pup, you know what I mean?
Yeah, little cub.
This little cub, whatever the hell they are. Just a little fawn, a little fawn lion.
Yep.
He's going to have that little baby lion believe it. Think about that little baby lion. Just
be so cool.
That would be so cool.
In a cage on the side of the field.
Oh, yeah.
Cage. No cage. Not the baby lion. He's probably going to be strapped to his hip during the game.
They got to get the lion acclimated with the cage environment, okay? You can't have a lion just walking around.
No. What they're getting acclimated is like, hey, now you see me. Now you see lion. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted like a dog that I could just go outside and would just follow me around everywhere because I think it's so cool when you go to a city and you see somebody walking and they just got like two dogs just following them, no leash or anything.
It's unbelievable.
And they do like one of these and the thing's like, what do you need? Like, I dream of that. I dream of that. It's not going to happen because I'm not diligent enough or, talented enough to make that happen. But if you're getting a lion, I think you need it to be one of those types of lions.
Also, that thing will listen to Dan Campbell of all people.
Well,
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I do not know. This feels more like a semi-pro Dewey the Bear situation where the bear gets loose and all of a sudden everyone's on the hook.
There will be no refund.
Yeah.
The only refund will be escaping this death trap with your life. Everybody panic.
Yeah, bingo.
I think you forget we're talking about Dan Campbell, not Matt Patricia.
Thank you.
Dan Campbell.
Sure. All right, let's get to a break, shall we? Final hour, first break. I mean, I said this is going to be the best hour in this show's history. I was lying.
Hey, but what better to build like the myth of Dan Campbell than to fight off a lion attack on the sidelines of a game?
No, what a better way to build than him and his lion attacking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dan and
Who
his
are they gonna
lion. Have you watched any documentaries about the streets of Detroit, pal? Motor City Dan Campbell might clean up the Lions, but him and his actual lion might clean up the streets of Detroit.
Well, if they're doing anything, they should have White Boy Rick walking out next to him, too.
I watched a doc on White Boy Rick.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, that guy got fucked.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, bad by Detroit. Bad. That's his side. I would like to hear Detroit's side.
Right.
We got to get to a break. It's not easy to catch this thing.
Nuh-uh.
You know what I mean?
Is that your bird dog's whistle ball?
Yeah. And it's not whistling right now. I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this thing.
You got to throw it harder.
Well, I'm going to throw it over to Diggs. Shh. Turn this around. Hey, it's going to look like it's coming faster than it is. Because it is one of them things. This bird dog's whistle ball will whistle whenever you throw it. Just like Michael Vick threw it out of a stadium. Listen to this thing purr.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Whistling.
Try to hit the microphone, by the way. I am an NFL quarterback. Good. Actually happened. Let's get to a break now, shall we? What a show. What a show. What a show.
Best hour ever.
Throw it back, Diggs.
I got to take off that.
It comes a lot faster.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, it does whistle nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whistle ball.
Nope. We're back in 4 minutes. Some phone calls, 1-833-4 McAfee. Also, Bill Carr.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We got to talk about Bill Carr.
Have to.
Bill Carr is from Crafton in Pittsburgh, okay? Bill Carr is a legend.
Is that close to Plum?
Nah. Not really. I mean, kinda, I guess. I don't know how close you're talking.
It's in the same state.
I cannot throw a whistle ball to Crafton.
Okay.
Where Corey Graves is from, though, can throw a whistle ball to Corey Graves' house. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. Woodland Hills, where all the really talented Gronkowski graduated from, all the Michigan, can hit a 4-iron to there, okay?
Okay.
Crafton's going to be tough. You're going to have to get through a tunnel or two. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. 4 minutes, other side, a lot of conversation. Greatest hour in the history of sports talk. Make sure you enter into the PMS 5K ticker trivia before the end of the show. It will close off. There is no winners yet. Zito has checked.
Okay. Wow.
This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, June 2nd. We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome to the play.
His spinal cord is severed.
Look to your right. Look to your right. Look to your right a little bit.
I'm sick of you Pokemon nerds hustling my fucking dog.
I'm getting pretty sick of them too.
I only learned American history. I don't know shit about anywhere else.
You had to have, I mean, you don't even know American history.
Yeah, I do. I know almost everything about American history.
Who's our second president?
Sam Adams.
Wrong. That's a peer.
Close.
John Adams.
So you got half loaves?
Yeah. You know, it turns out when you don't do all your shopping at the gas station, there are other options.
Huh. That's kind of
Wait, they have more than hot dog buns? $1 bill in America is undefeated. I mean, tried and true. As far as strip.
You guys don't have a $1 bill?
No, we got loonies and fucking undercover cop.
Why are you a volunteer firefighter today? What is this?
I don't know. I saw these boxes. I was like, I need to do these. Just the, I mean, it does look like. Hey, you guys want some weed?
There's nowhere to go. Right there.
No, look left. Look left. There it is.
Right here.
Do a spin.
Wow.
Do a spin. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's
Looking good. Oh, Bill is bald.
Bill, that is not coming back.
Bar sailing, but I hit the buffet before I left, and I ate so much food, dude. So much food. And I was used to being on boats, but I went on the smaller boat, like with the parasailing shit. And yeah, dude. I remember I took down like 2 pizzas, 3 burgers.
I got Don't look away. See, did you parasail or what?
No.
Look away. Look away.
I parasail puked all over the place, dude.
Dump? Like, what is that thing?
So what they did after all the stuff that happened with him, they actually cut Ron Jeremy's penis off and planted it in this pad.
He walks all the way up. Oh! Sleep! Sleep! This is not the one that I saw.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. Can we go back to the beginning, please? Listen, go back to the beginning. This guy, pause. That guy was sitting one section over in this blue polo shirt-wearing son of a bitch who's here with his friend, by the way. Right here. They're just having a good old day at the ballpark. Old buddy in the glasses back here. Oh, this has been fun. Look at this guy up here with the wife is maybe the wife and the guy up there. They're kind of intrigued to see what's going on. Padres guy said, hey, listen, I've been locked in my fucking house for 13 months. I'm going to come to a ball game, and you're going to say dumb shit? I don't think so, pal. He walks over, 45 yards, casually, eyes ready to go, not fists ready to go, though. Just outside, no, calm. What you got a fucking problem, pal? People smiling down here. They know something's about to happen. We got a camera out. We would like to see the alternate angle from this particular person. But what a moment here. We beat COVID. We are back. Old buddy here needs to watch out for right hooks. Bow! Buckled. What, bitch? He said, what? And then he gets tackled by everybody else, backpedals. Everybody watches this happen. What a Jeez. What? He says. What, dude? What? What? Damn. Oh, my. What was said by who? Hey, as we get back into society.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Ooh. Yeah. Huh?
It's been a while.
Greatest hour of radio needs a little late night special band. You know what I mean? Mama, if I say I got to go, there's a place on high road. Oh, ain't that right, AJ?
It's a good song.
If you say anything new, when I I know. I got a top booty about deep. I hate it right now. Talking about no top, so when it's rained, I'm kind of fucked down. I know my mama told me one day a love like you will only. Woo! Don't leave me lonely. Yeah!
Mama.
Hell yeah.
Good work, boys. That's fun. Welcome back to the show. AJ Hawk joins us. Hammer Down Boys. Show in 2 hours. I'm sorry, 1 hour and 35 minutes. Hammer Down will be live, youtube.com/Hammer Down. What are we talking about today? What are we betting on, boys?
Baseball. There's a few baseball games tonight. Day games all canceled due to weather, unfortunately.
Preview of the Memorial this weekend.
I'm sick of you guys driving your fucking SUVs and trucks. So funny, AJ. All right, I'm tired.
What about your truck and your Wrangler with a Hemi that you paid $100K for and has 100,000 miles?
I got a Tesla too. I'm doing my part. Okay,
Yeah,
we need to.
not charged for.
Well, don't
6
forget
months,
about the
you know.
Mustang.
It is charged. There's just a dead animal inside of it. Smells bad. I will not sell anybody that whenever we try to sell it, though. What were you saying?
Don't forget about the Mustang.
Yeah, Mustang also. I mean, that thing is probably the worst. Actually, 600 or some ponies underneath the hood. But everything. What I'm saying is, it's rain in June. What are we doing? Can we look into this? I thought Bezos didn't he donate $10 billion into the earth? How are we still getting rain in June? I thought this was for April.
I will tell you, it's supposed to be beautiful this weekend.
Saturday, Sunday. We are looking good, my friend.
Tops off.
Tops off.
30 degrees Celsius.
Let's go. Speaking of Celsius, these heats are unbelievable.
New flavor alert too.
Orangesicle carbonate.
Oh, so their trucks and SUVs are causing the bad weather due to global
That's
warming?
not true.
That's what I read on the internet.
No, that's what's happening.
That's cow farts.
Well, it's either cow farts. How come it never gets talked about? Maybe it's the space shuttles puncturing holes.
Yeah.
Oh, in the ozone.
You know what I mean? We've talked about this from the beginning. Like, how come that never gets talked about? What if it is also like everybody we're no scientists, okay? Not claiming to be. By the way, Mayor Joe Hogsett is speaking right now.
Okay.
Mayor Joe Hogsett, the man who is in charge of the city, the only city in the NFL that has not been able to say we will be at full capacity by fall.
Right.
The only one in the entire NFL, the only city that has said, nah, not yet. Mayor Joe, he said only a third of the residents here are vaccinated. It's far too low, cannot open anything.
Come on.
That's what Hogsett's playing. And that's, hey, by the way, those are the things, you know, when you're mayor, you know that I don't know. I just seen everybody else is able to do it. I just assume we're able to. Not here, let's go ahead and move along, I guess.
Hey, what's it like? What's it like outside of his jurisdiction? I know here June 2nd today was like the official mask mandate in Ohio is up.
Outside of Mayor Hogsett's jurisdiction, it's green light racing.
Yeah. Yep. Normal.
Green flag racing, pal. I mean, it is everywhere. But down here, still got a lot to. I understand. Hey, he's given his reasons. It's his science or whatever. It's nice to know why.
Can a governor overrule him?
That'd be sweet.
Only if it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So.
Hey, let's call Gonzo and ask him. That'll really start a fire. Hey, let's do that. I don't know enough about the politics world.
I don't want you to get distracted because you were cut off about your theory about the people walking on the earth.
Yeah, pushing. Thank you, Diggs, because this is something we should talk about. I don't know.
That's my favorite one.
I don't know the science enough, but we've been walking around this earth a long time.
Yeah.
We're all in the understandment.
Yep.
The understandment. What are you shaking your head for, AJ? Okay, you didn't learn this in Centerville. This is
Please
something.
continue. Please continue.
The core of the earth is fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We get a chance to see the core
Magma.
whenever volcanoes get upset. Okay, whenever they burst, they have an outburst. The volcanoes show us what the inner of the earth looks like. It's the hottest shit you could imagine. It's the sun is coming out of the earth from the core. I think because we're walking around somewhere, a lot of people walking around, too many people walking around, they say. I think we're pushing the earth closer to the core.
Yeah.
So it's naturally getting hotter out here. And once the core, not only just spilling through volcanoes, but just kind of coming up through the earth here. I'm not saying this is definitely the answer. I'm just saying maybe this is an answer of why everything's kind of fucked up and we're getting.
I've heard the opposite. I've heard the opposite of that. I saw something where they were trying to bring woolly mammoths back because that much weight walking on wherever they live helps with global warming somehow, according to this doc I saw.
Are we getting woolly mammoths back?
That'd be sweet.
Well,
We could get
is this like Jurassic Park?
We need Goldblum, right, to inject the thing, get
just
the thing
send-
on the mosquito and make them.
Send elephants up there with coats.
Maybe they're trying.
There we go. Let's go.
What is it, Alpha
Let's go to the phone, shall we? Let's talk about Bill Cowher, actually.
Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher, legend in Pittsburgh. Obviously, through the glory days back there, a lot of wins. He is from Pittsburgh, town called Crafton, home of Bill Cowher. Okay, he was Motor City Dan Campbell long before Motor City Dan Campbell. Everything about him was like a cartoon character that was beloved by Yinzers everywhere. His big-ass chin, whenever he would start yelling, he would start spitting on people. It was like headline news that like the spit from Bill Cowher's mouth was at an all-time high yesterday. He was not happy with the refs or the team or whatever the case. There was the entire Slash era with him and Cordell Stewart. Obviously, Jerome Bettis, Super Bowl wins and everything like that. In Pittsburgh, it's a Pittsburgh guy that led the Pittsburgh Steelers to the promised land. He is beloved and will be beloved forever in Pittsburgh. He's coming out with a book. He's doing interviews. He's chatting about this whole thing. We're getting a chance to kind of get a glimpse behind the curtain of something that was very well revered in Pittsburgh for a long time without social media. I got a chance to meet Bill Cowher for the first time on a Thursday night game. I think he was working for, might have been CBS had Thursday night. He was somewhere, maybe it wasn't Thursday night, primetime game. He was on a sideline. And he's standing next to my kicking net. All right, and I'm standing there. I'm like, God damn, it's fucking Bill Cowher. You know what I mean? And at this point, I have been around. It wasn't like I was a rookie at this point, so people did potentially know me. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go introduce myself to Bill fucking Cowher. I'm like, sir, thank you for your service to Pittsburgh or whatever. Grew up in Plum or whatever. He goes, oh, I know you. Yeah, big fan or whatever. Like he talked to me as if he knew who I was, said thank you, complimented me on the show, I think. He talked about it and everything. It was a massive moment for me. I'm like, yo, Bill Cowher knows who I am. This is so cool. Now, you know, he does TV. He's always allegedly getting back into coaching somewhere when his name comes up. I love Bill Cowher. Allegedly, he left the Pittsburgh Steelers because his family had moved to North Carolina and he was alone in Pittsburgh. We're hearing about all this shit, but I just want to make sure everybody understands Bill Cowher, legend in Pittsburgh, and I'm excited to get to hear some of those stories.
I think Bill Cowher's a legend everywhere. Like when you think of Bill Cowher, anyone that knows football at all, they think of him kind of as a legend. Obviously in Pittsburgh, I'm sure it's it's exaggerated more than it is other places, but so I think it was out a little bit of why he stopped. Like he stepped down. I think I just heard like family issues, family situation. Like he wanted to be home more or whatever. But they moved to North Carolina for what?
I think they probably had like a vacation home there or an off-season.
His wife's a singer now.
Is she? Go ahead. Somebody was going to say something.
I think she had family out there, his wife or something like that. Like they had ties to North Carolina, so they're like kind of going back.
He showed up at a high school basketball game. Fox Chapel, yeah. And he walked in, and I'll tell you what, the student section for our high school was a pretty scumbag group. Okay, pretty scumbag
Oh,
crew.
the one led by you in town?
Okay, so we were an active bunch, all right? We had friends on the team. We enjoyed it, you know. I mean, it was a lot of fun. There was no way in hell I was going to play for the high school basketball team because Ronald Richards, the head coach, was Bob Knight reincarnated. And I got along with him as somebody that wasn't on his team, but I had heard that his practices were no fun. And I did soccer, so I'm like, I appreciate you. The team was good. It was fun. But we were at Fox Chapel, and that is a school that hated me. Specifically me. I do believe that school district at the time, as soon as you go into the high school, there's an orientation, there's a picture of me, you hate this fucking guy. Okay? It was crazy. It was insane. It was, by the way, Fox Chapel is the complete opposite of Plum High School. Okay. And you know what I mean? Like the complete opposite place. We're a terrible bunch as a student section. Bill Cowher walks in, we all oh my God. There's Bill. It was like a full-on, just a degenerate group of people, especially going into Fox Chapel, which at the time we had a pretty good rivalry going. I mean, even at volleyball games, they were showing up and getting kicked out because of things they were saying and chanting about me. I mean, at soccer games, football games, it was a pretty good heated rivalry. Bill Cowher walks in, everybody stops what they're doing. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. And then as soon as Bill gets out there, it's you entitled, spoiled, rich piece of shit. Just immediately afterwards, there's probably many conversations.
He was on our side by the end.
Yeah, I think we got him because Bill Cowher related to us, I think, a lot more than those kids. Those kids.
Why was he there? What was he doing at the game?
I think he lived in the area. Or family
He lived
his
in Fox
daughter.
Chapel. I believe his daughters went to Fox Chapel.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a very sophisticated group up there. They hated old white trash Pat. I mean, it was bad. My mom is normally pretty reserved. She even still to this day has a deep hatred for Fox Chapel for the things that were said about me, my family. There was chance. Now,
Why? What were you doing?
Well, there was this one time, you see, where...
Wait, and you only played soccer, right?
Soccer, football, and volleyball. I mean, so all three.
Oh, you played volleyball? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Senior year. Loved it. It was my favorite sport to play. All my friends played, but I couldn't play because I had soccer and cup soccers in the spring, basically, which is, a lot of traveling or whatever. So my senior year, after I committed to West Virginia to kick footballs, I got to play volleyball or whatever. Had a couple schools looking at me to play volleyball, by the way. Love that sport. I guess I'm 8 inches too short to really be any player of damage in, but libero was a position, I guess, that I was talked about potentially playing in college where you just play the back row, so your entire career is just sitting there eating shots. Eating shots from 6'9" guys from Lithuania.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just kind of sitting there, and that wasn't my thing, but I absolutely loved volleyball. And we played, Fox Chapel had a good volleyball team as well. We're talking people getting kicked out of the gym whenever we played over there, fans getting asked out. Their coach had to go calm down some people to get them kicked out. I mean, that was quite a firestorm when I showed up in places. I spit on their logo as a young man. You know what I mean? After a goal. And they didn't forget.
It was outside, okay.
Well, that was soccer, yeah. Volleyball, I didn't do it. Soccer, I hit a free kick maybe from like 57 yards out. It was obnoxiously long in a pretty big game. It went in and I didn't act right. Okay, I go right to the logo. Obviously, they're Fox. Spit, full celebration. I think I'm a sophomore at this time. From that moment forward, it felt like the entire town did hate me. Strictly me.
Rightfully so, yeah.
We played a game in Plum High School against them, and to get from our locker room to the field, we had to walk past like the concession stand and everything like that. And there was this little kid from Fox Chapel who literally looked at me and said, "Fuck you" to me. I've never seen anything like. I've never been more. I was like, oh my God. I think the whole place hates me. This is pretty cool. It was my first real heel moment. And then obviously the Tennessee Titans booed me out of the stadium after I won the punt, pass, and kick after that, which was another 70,000 people booing me. So I've kind of naturally been hated my whole life. So it's kind of a good time. You know what I mean? Kind of a good time to be on the internet. It's good. But fuck Fox Chapel, dude. Except for Bill Cowher when he lived there.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. I love Bill. I would not read that book, but I hope it's good.
I'm sure it is.
It has to be. Yeah, if it's Cowher's.
Hope he talks about snapping Jeff Fisher's leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, football. That happened.
Ended his playing career.
Yeah, just like AJ ended Kirk Herbstreit's.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nobody ever talks about that.
Way to go, AJ.
Kirk was already a broadcaster by then.
Yeah, but he was still coming back to play with the boys. You know what I mean? Centerville Elks, how you doing? A little alumni game. Kirk, you think you're funny? You think you can get all sauced up and come play against us high school kids? My name's AJ Hawk, and I'm going to bring the crown of my helmet, Kirk Herbstreit, to your jaw. You know that jaw that you have to speak with on College game day and kind of put Ohio State on the map here, be even bigger time? I'm running this freshman skull through your jaw, causing you a concussion, maybe permanent damage, and you'll never put pads on again. Is that not what happened?
I'm not sure if he put pads on after that. That was the last year we did the alumni game.
Exactly.
Everything else.
He told Pat in a private moment that when he plays catch with his kids now, he sometimes has flashbacks of you.
PTSD.
So it's ruined that pretty much
Hawk
too.
PTSD. I think that probably happens a lot, if I had to guess.
I doubt it. But yeah, hey, Kirk was a great competitor that day. I just didn't want to get knocked out.
Hey, if you
150 pounds, man.
If you have to kill to survive, I guess somebody's got to die. Is that what you said?
No.
That is what you said.
That's what you said.
That is what you said the first time you explained that. If I have to kill somebody to survive, it's a shame somebody's got to die.
Yep.
That's what you said, AJ
It
Hawk.
just changed again. What is it? It keeps changing.
You said, you know what? In this situation, seems like the only way to survive is to kill or be killed. So you said, rest in peace, some bitch.
Time to kill.
AJ Hawk. That's what you said.
Be if you can.
Yeah.
Survive if I let you.
Yeah, bingo. 2 men enter. 1 man dead. It ain't gonna be me. AJ Hawk.
Yeah. The hunted becomes the hunter. AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk.
Okay.
Naukus.
Who's hunting me?
Yeah, Kirk was never
Hunting
hunting
AJ, yeah.
AJ
Who's headhunting
just
him?
said, you know what, I'm going to fucking give this
he
guy a
took
root
that
canal.
toss. He took that toss and saw AJ, and he was hunting you. He came straight for you.
Well, this is kind of like The Pest, you know, when they put John Leguizamo out in that island?
Yeah, right.
And try to kill him?
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
One of the only movies I watched as a child.
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
all-timer.
Dude.
About what? Is it Disney?
Party with my peeps, cruising street, playing 3-card money on the crazy thing. Ain't hustler, pull a scam in a minute, so low to the flow, pick a pocket. Can't say that word anymore. The next rhyme.
What was it?
Little person.
I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't say that anymore because we have respect for that. Let's go to Rod in Rockford, Illinois. Rod, what's going on? Save the show, pal.
Hey, what's up, boys? Take your vitamins. Want to know why we're not talking about the Cowboys? They're looking good. Dak's coming back. Want to remind you that Dez caught it.
Rod, why are you a Cowboys fan in Illinois? What happened?
Because, I had to be a rebel growing up. I didn't want to root for the Bears. Definitely not going to root for the Packers.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Got to root for my favorite football player of all time, Emmitt Smith, baby.
Oh, double
golf
deuce.
carts across the field.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Rod, for the call there. Let's talk about the Cowboys. AJ, you think they're winning the Super Bowl again this year?
Hey, I think let's see how Dak looks. I don't know. I think they're a team that could be they could be a scary opponent for teams to face. People may underestimate them a little bit. We'll see what Dan Quinn can do with the new scheme coming in defensively if he has the pieces he needs. I know he brought over Keanu Neal, who was an absolute headhunter, and he's playing like a little hybrid safety and linebacker.
Yeah, and I think Rex just got signed, by the way, to Houston. Speaking of just, we're just going to say.
He's a Caserio guy.
Is he? Rex Burkhead.
Well, Caserio was New England. I know Caserio's in Texas and Houston.
You're a big Rex guy, right? Hell of a player. I like Rex, too. He's come on the show. It's great for us.
Incredible.
I don't know how the Houston Texans are going to be, but let's get back to the Cowboys. Rod thinks we don't talk about the Cowboys enough because we were told at the beginning of this whole thing to talk about the Cowboys at least once a day. It was called Obligatory Cowboys Talk, is the entire segment we made whenever we started a show because somebody told us.
Who told you to do it?
An distinguished, esteemed executive.
Big brain.
Oh, executive.
Big, yeah.
Hey, talk about the Cowboys. Talk about Tebow. Talk about LeBron James.
Skip? Was it Skip?
Nope, but Skip probably did hear similar information.
Yeah. Follows those
like,
rules very strictly.
And it's kind of like sports media is what we were told, basically. Could you imagine if we had to talk about that Cowboys team every single day? I couldn't do it. I mean, Go ahead.
It wasn't me. I thought it was Diggs was saying something.
No, but I couldn't imagine talking about that because there's nothing new on it, right? I mean, is there anything new on it?
And it wasn't even that. It was like you lead off with this to start the show, and then you circle back hour 2 or 30 minutes later, and then you circle back again. It's like you're basically just fucking hitting people over the head with a hammer just 1,000 times.
And we were told, listening time is normally 17 to 18 minutes, so you can go ahead and re-hit the topics 30 minutes in, quarterly, kind of change it.
That's that old school radio stuff to try to win the ratings and make sure whenever the books come out, like they want to be top, even if that whole like formula, I think sometimes people get caught up into that and then it just makes the show stupid.
Yeah, well, I said that. I said that, and it's kind of what happened, but the Cowboys do move the needle. You know what doesn't? Lacrosse.
No.
Every lacrosse video we do is terrible. It hurts our algorithm, I think is what people actually say. Sport of the future, not sport of the now. Don't bury the business, they say.
Exactly. Maybe we get like Paulie Rabel or Mikey Powell, one of those famous guys on here.
And we need to say handsome Paul Rabel because that's what he is. I don't think people will come listen to him talk about the sport. I think they'll come to listen to him speak just in general because of how damn good looking he is.
Well, Chrissy Hogan, making the transition from the NFL to the MLL.
Hey, I don't like what we're doing right now, okay? I don't like that we have to talk like this, but it's real. We're not the ones being judged.
No.
Every time we talk about lacrosse, the show tanks. Okay?
Worse than
it is
NBA.
What it is.
Worse than the NBA. Legit worse than the NBA.
We just lost 1,000.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
to be fair
too.
To be fair to the fans, I kind of black out too when you start talking lacrosse.
It's because you don't know anything about it, dude. You don't understand.
You're exactly right. I don't. I wish I did know more.
Let's go to Nikki in Indiana. What's going on, Nikki?
Hey, I just wanted to say it's been a crazy breaking news sports day, but you guys were talking about Ohio State earlier, and I have a kind of a funny March Madness story.
Yes.
My mom and I got to go to the Baylor-Hartford game, and we bought those tickets before we even knew what the game, was going to be. Mm-hmm. And towards the end of the game, they kept flashing up the Ohio State game on the Jumbotron, and everybody in the stadium was going nuts. And they were in a media timeout, so the last few seconds of the game were on for a long time, and everybody was focused. Well, the game started back up, and the crowd started to boo.
Oh.
And Baylor's coach looked up, saw the Jumbotron, called another timeout, stood there and just watched Ohio State get beat. It's kind of comical.
Hey, Nikki, real quick. OH.
Yes. I.O.
That's what I'm talking about. You see that? Ohio State moves the needle. You see that, AJ? That's a proper representation of Ohio State. Telling a story about how an entire another game stopped so they could watch Ohio State do what Ohio State did in that tournament, which was lose because AJ wouldn't say I.O. Shout out to Nikki representing the scarlet and gray.
Hell yeah.
There you go. At least you got it right. But yeah, hey, she's a nice gal. Good story. So I'm glad that you got what you needed.
We're not sure of that, by the way. Especially, there's no reason to assume at this moment. We're a very inclusive bunch here, unlike Ohio State.
True.
Shout out to Nikki, though. Let's go to Aaron in California. What's going on, Aaron?
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Raji?
I thought it was potentially Aaron Rodgers.
Damn.
That's why I did go to you first. But what do you want to talk about, Aaron? Not Rodgers?
Not Rodgers. Well, you know what? I got a lot going on. I want to say long-time listener. Thanks for taking my call. I actually caught my my fiance 5 years sleeping with my best friend of 8 years. So hoping for some words of wisdom from you with that.
Who? Was he asking?
He caught his fiance of 5 years sleeping with his best friend of 8 years, I believe. Is that what you said?
Whoa. I lost my thing at the wrong time. What are we doing? We're getting into this? What happened, pal? I'm so sorry.
Please
I dropped my
confirm.
thingy there. Aaron, you dropped a little bomb there. I couldn't hear it because my shit's broke. It survived a lot longer than any of us thought, but this thing is officially dead. It just gave me the red light. I'm dying, heartbeat, flatline into this thing because I just dropped it. Aaron, I'm so sorry. What did you say again, pal?
Oh no, So my fiance of 5 years, I caught her sleeping with my married best friend of 8 years, and kind of been heartbroken. And I was hoping
Did you walk in on
get
it?
a little bit of advice from you.
All right,
How'd you catch
AJ. I don't want to have to dig into this any more than you've already told us. How did this happen? How'd you find out?
Hey, I mean, I noticed they were both being kind of weird. Didn't actually catch them in the act, but if you're going to confront your best friend about this, you got to be pretty sure. Took a fucking guess. Confronted him. He had nothing to say. So obviously, and so I went to her. On my way there, he called her to let her know that I know. So when I got there, she was already freaking heartbroken. So, I mean, it was obvious. And then I just kind of was drilling them. And then they both finally came clean. And so now I'm trying to pick up the pieces of my life, trying to figure out what I want to do.
Aaron!
Yes.
Aaron!
Yes.
Do you know how lucky you are, dude? Think about this now. 5 years into engagement, you haven't gotten married yet, although 5-year engagement, I don't know how you delayed it this long. Congrats to you. I was getting the heat on me as soon as that whole thing started. With that being said, look what you learned before you signed on for forever, pal. She's a whore. Okay, this is good news. This is good news for you. This is good news for your future. You got a chance to experience something so terrible that it's setting you up for a beautiful future with somebody who appreciates you, Aaron. Listen, I understand you could think it's in shambles. You're probably lonely at times. That happens to the best of us. We've all been cheated on. But once you get past those lonely tears with the pillow at night and those thoughts that are potentially going through your head, hey, the sun is brightest after the darkest dawn, pal. And that sun is coming on the other side. The world's opening back up. There is a bunch of dating apps. You learned this before you got married, Aaron. This is good news, man. You should look at it that way as opposed to the potential betrayed way that you definitely felt, and we all have felt at some point in our life. It's not your fault. She stinks as a human, Aaron. You're going to be okay. Bad time to lose hearing.
Terrible. Yeah, right when it dropped.
I made him run it back. You know what I mean? But it is good that he found out now, AJ. I think that is a very positive in a situation. Nice silver lining here.
That's huge that he found out now. Before they got married, before they had kids, anything like that. And I'm curious if they are together. Her and his best friend, are they still together?
No, because he called her to tell her that it happened, and she was heartbroken to find out that when she was falling on other dicks, that he did catch her doing that. Now,
who was she heartbroken for? What was she heartbroken about?
Probably that her husband found out and she couldn't have her cake and eat it too. And that is probably why she was heartbroken. She was living this high life, you know what I mean? Doing what she had to do, throwing willy-nilly vag everywhere. Can't have it, won't have it. Happy you found out before. What's wrong, AJ? Happy you found out before they got married. We've all been cheated on, though. You need to know that. Not your fault. Not your fault.
You're right. He dodged a bullet, man.
Yeah,
Good for
it
him.
will happen, my friends. It will happen.
Happens to everybody. Let's go to Carter in Philadelphia. What's going on, Carter? Hey, your next life's your best life, pal. Close the chapter. Get ready for the next one. Your life's a book. It's going to end up with in beautiful fashion. What do you want to talk about, Carter?
What's up, Pat? How's it going?
Well, better than Aaron.
Yeah, true.
No, I'm joking. I don't think I mean, he's in a good spot right now if he really does look at it like that.
Got out scot-free.
Yeah, bingo. And he's a hero in this situation.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Aaron, it stinks right now, but you'll get through it. It'll be better on the other side of this whole thing.
We love you, Aaron.
So,
we
seems
still
like no
friends
one's
with
really
the guy?
covering this.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
And,
No
we
way.
have
I
that
doubt
great
it.
little news.
Sorry, Carter. We're having a full conversation about the Friends thing there. What's going to happen? I assume that friendship is over. And, not a bad day to trim the fat, by the way. Not a bad day to trim the fat. See you later. How you doing? You're a bad guy. I understand that you probably, were felt obligated to do this. But it doesn't mean I'm obligated to be friends with you either. Good luck. No harm, no foul. Thanks for saving me. A life of misery with this, a little bit of a whore out there.
A lot of it.
A lot of whore there. I don't know her personally. It seems like she does get a little frisky when dicks are around, though. What do you want to talk about, Carter?
Hey, Pat, how's it going? I just want to mention something. So, I wonder how Jalen Hurts feels about the fact every time I drive past Lincoln Financial Field on I-95, they still have a Carson Wentz old number 11 banner hanging off the side of the stadium for everyone to see in Philadelphia. Wonder what Jalen Hurts' thoughts on that might be and what your thoughts on it might be.
What are your thoughts on Carson? You think he's back this year in Indy?
Probably. I mean, I don't give a shit about the Eagles or the Colts. I'm a Browns fan, but I hope the best for him.
Shout out to you, Carter, for keeping it very real. Carson Wentz is already setting up summer workouts with the boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's playing basketball in practice. He looks like he's all the way back. And there was people that were saying he was broken. They're wrong. Carson Wentz is all the way back, MVP-like season. Let's get him Julio Jones, and let's do this damn thing. Your thoughts on Carson taking over the leadership role as a quarterback in the NFL? This was big news this morning that he's organizing workouts. I'm happy he's doing it, but this seems like that should have happened, right?
Yeah, and I love that we're saying Carson Wentz is back. I mean, who knows? We will see once the season starts. I'm hopeful that he is. But what I do like, though, I like that he's having fun. He seems like he's enjoying himself with his new teammates playing knockout. I think it's got to be, man, what a difference he probably feels walking into that Colts organization right now compared to what it was like the last year or two in Philly.
Yeah, and Phil Rivers had to do this last year, and they said Phil fit in immediately. I guess Carson Wentz is as well. It's like that culture that Bill Ballard said.
Hell yeah.
Bill Ballard said he's going to build the culture before he brings anybody in here. I feel like they've done that. He's hit on some young draft pieces. He's going to have to pay them. The culture has, people inside of it that go all the way back to the winningest decade in NFL history, which isn't that long ago, still in there, equipment managers, athletic trainers, front office people. There's still, a building of success. If Carson Wentz can play anything like he was able to play just 2 years ago, this Colts team can go and run. Going to need another weapon, though. I fear.
At the moment,
need another weapon.
Feels like Frank Reich was right. Like, hey, I will fix this guy, and he'll get back to 2017, Carson.
Well, the thing about it is, Michael Pittman's a hell of a player. I've said that this entire time. You know what I mean?
Loudly.
Flashes of greatness.
Yeah.
And if the Falcons, Schrager said they're looking for a wide receiver back, because I thought Stephon Gilmore from New England would have been
perfect.
Who they're thinking about trading, but they're going to have to pay him too. So I don't know if Atlanta doesn't want to pay Julio. Do they want to pay Stephon Gilmore or whatever? But if they're looking for a wide receiver in return, I mean, there's a lot of places that have a lot of options for that as well.
If Pittman goes to Atlanta for Julio, he gets to keep number 11 as well.
Well, a lot of people are drawing him in 8, though. You know what I mean? Because that was his college number.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't have to buy out any jerseys because it'd be a new jersey. Will Julio want to do that? Who knows? It is, by the way, I've been told now by a couple people, Julio did not know he was on live TV when that happened. That had to put quite a fork in some things.
That's unbelievable.
Quite a fork in some things.
Like, what do they have to do? I would assume moving forward, they have to, you just can't. How do you make a phone call live on air like that?
And not give a heads up. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that we have some big news for you.
Yeah.
Your favorite men's healthcare brand, Roman, is now available at Walmart. Roman's non-prescription products have got you covered with everything from sexual health. Aaron, you're about to get back in the game, by the way. Let's go.
Should send him some.
We should. Or just send them to Walmart because it's available there. Roman and Walmart. And everything from sexual health to everyday health. Your well-being is important, and taking care of it should be simple. Now you can add to cart in real life. Ooh. Roman now available at Walmart or in your area. Let's go take care of it. And also, special Roman condoms are new and exclusive to Walmart. You won't find them anywhere else. Designed ultra thin, lubricated for pleasure, and FDA cleared because safe is sexy. Hell yeah. Roman swipes are an easy, discreet way to delay ejaculation and increase sexual stamina. They're fast acting and your partner will enjoy them too because there's no passed along desensitization if you use it as intended. Longer, better sex with Roman swipes. Roman condoms keep you safe. And also, they got testosterone supplements. They got hair supplements. Roman has everything to make you the best you possible. Visit your local Walmart store today and check out Roman's line of men healthcare products. All clinically tested and make you best you possible. AJ, before Chris Mad Dog Russo comes on the air after this 6-minute break, do you have anything to say to the SiriusXM listeners?
Well, Pat, I have been watching some of playoff basketball, and I am 100% blown away with how good they are and how difficult it would be to score a bucket in an NBA game.
They're all the tallest humans you've ever seen.
They all shoot lights out, every single one of them.
They all make every shot. They say they're not trying on defense, but I've been to a game. They're trying. It is a wild thing. It's a shame nobody watches it, especially if LeBron loses this whole thing. Had to poop last night. Let's remember that. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed is on the other side of this break. We'll see you tomorrow with a big show. I don't know if Show made it.
I think you got it.
I think Big made it. And all the listeners could just assume that Show was coming right there.
Could be a huge tease, too, for Sirius if the show wasn't snuck in.
Yeah, we got a big old show.
Big old guest, maybe.
Why does Fox Chapel people hate me so bad? Maybe.
Can't you understand? Put yourself in their shoes.
Bro, they hated me, man. They hated me.
Imagine you being at that school and seeing you do what you did.
Well, and
time and time again.
Well, those kids were all driving Beamers to school too. They know that I had that Jeep Lightning that couldn't go up the hill to get to their school with 212s in the back, spitting all over their stuff. I assumed that I was hateable. Yeah, for sure. Still am, by the way, but I'm used to it.
Well, if they didn't want you to celebrate, then they shouldn't have let you score.
You don't want me dancing.
Yep.
Keep me out of the end zone.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
By the way, I got in the end zone against them in football in my first ever game. It was a bad snap. I actually picked the ball up, scored.
Spin move.
No big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving. That was fun. Why didn't we do that more often, too? I mean, a lot of questions looking back on things.
What did you play?
Huh?
Was Diggs a wideout?
Diggs is a player. Diggs is a good player.
Wideout and safety in high school.
Hell yeah.
Want Duquesne to play football.
Yeah, did he say wideout? I couldn't hear.
Wideout and safety, yeah. Yeah, dual threat.
Headhunter back there. How many concussions you had, Diggs?
Oh, I've had like 8.
All of them. All
really?
of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
What happened? You have a soft head or what?
I must.
No, he led with his head, I think, a lot.
Weak jaw, too, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was also, you were like 50 pounds heavier than you are now or whatever in college.
Lighter.
Oh, you were 50 pounds lighter. When you got to college, didn't they want you to become a defensive end?
No, outside. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, more money and outside linebacker.
That's right.
Defensive end. I apologize for describing it that way. Diggs is a player, though. Diggs is a great athlete.
I know. I've seen Diggs move. I know he's athletic.
No, yeah, concussions took a toll.
I still think we should have potentially got me the ball a little bit more on those kicks and punts. What's that all about?
I thought they weren't allowed.
Yeah, they said they didn't want to hurt me. That was a big thing.
That's horseshit.
For soccer?
Yeah, for soccer. Turns out, wouldn't have mattered. Should have fed me the rock. I feel like I would have been good at football if I focused on it. We had a cool group of people on our team. Didn't win a lot, but I mean, we're facing some dominant forces.
So you never went to practice?
No.
Gosh, that's weird. I don't know if my high school would ever have
might have went once or twice during camp.
Hey, I want to let you know, dude, if I was kicking on that high school field as a 16-year-old just draining 70-yarders, I think your coach would have said, come whatever the fuck you want. Okay, AJ?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. He'd say, you better pay. You better come to practice and put it in and work with these guys and the blood, sweat, and tears with all these men.
I know, yeah. It was interesting. I would walk in with the fans. Like that Fox Chapel game, my mom drove me from a soccer game, pads in car, and at that point I didn't really, this is going to be my first time putting them on. Walked into the locker room, everybody was already on the field, put it on, walk out onto the field. Okay. Here's your holder, you know him. Here's the operation. Let's get to it. Let's have a game here. Kicked like a 40-some yarder. They never sent me back on the field for a long field goal ever again. Very nice of them. Probably if I would have went to practice, probably would have earned it. Probably would have gave me a couple more opportunities. We were just
That's so valuable, though, in high school to have a kicker that can drain kicks. Nugent was – I played with Nuge, so, like, I knew how valuable it was having a guy like that.
Dude, the uprights, too, in high school are the size of a building.
Huge.
It's impossible.
Didn't you kick off did you get to use a little puck, too?
I wasn't good off the block. I mean, we had it for the holder, right? Because that's more for the holder, so you can see where to put the ball at. But I was better off the ground because it was like soccer ball. It actually kind of hurt me a little bit, the block. High school football, though, man. You know, I've had the fantasies of my child becoming like a great athlete or whatever in like the high school sports and things like that. And then whenever we do these moments with like Fox Chapel, Ricky, like I wonder if my kid's going to be an absolute fucking asshole too. I hope not. I'm going to try to get him to not be a prick at all times.
Having a great heel as a son wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like these people are ruthless nowadays. They'll be attacking it. If I could get attacked, the only thing they could find was my instant messaging name, and I'd get some messages from people that are like calling me the worst human of all time. It's like, how'd you find out my AIM name? Who are these people? Get away from me, dude. Let's go to Scuba Steve in Connecticut. What's going on, Scuba Steve?
Yeah, boys, what's going on?
Hey, Scuba Steve, let's talk about it. Why are you called Scuba Steve, dude?
Just a nickname I got. Honestly, I don't even scuba dive. I free dive a little bit occasionally.
Ooh.
But,
free dive Steve.
It sounds a lot more exciting.
How deep? Careful with the spins, dude.
Not very deep. It's really. It's not. It sounds more exciting than it is.
Well, if you come back to whatever too quick, the bubbles in your brain.
Not on a free dive. That's scuba diving. Not on free diving. If you're breathing at the surface.
You
don't
Bless
know.
you. Be careful. Your ears might pop.
Yeah, you don't know, dude. You don't get it. Do you go
You gotta
down?
pop them. You gotta pop them as you go down.
Excuse me. Do you go down on the line? You know what I mean? Or are you out there swimming these caves, splunking while holding your breath, dude?
I don't do caves, but yeah, we occasionally use lines. But usually I do mostly freshwater because I'm not really out near the ocean too much. But we do a couple different places.
You watch River Monsters?
Heck yeah, dude.
You ever think about that when you're down there with no oxygen? Maybe.
Yeah. What's the deepest you've gone?
Yeah.
I don't have a little computer, but fairly deep, probably 20 feet.
Oh, shit. Wow. Is that deep? I don't know.
That's one of AJ's pools in the deep end.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, how deep have I been? Now I'm starting to wonder.
My watch would make it. Probably at least 12.
What is the wave pool?
About 12.
I don't know. Wave pool might have been 20.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're down in the deep end down there. They're almost asking.
It was scary down there by the wall.
Dude, I was so scared of that place.
Yeah,
that place.
I always thought I would get trapped. I thought it would grab me and grab my trunks and pull me under.
I mean, then the ladder, right? The ladder is halfway up the wall, and you just gotta hope. You gotta hope that you get it. And my ass has been very heavy for a long time. My upper body was very adolescent. Getting that ladder wasn't always a lock for me, dude. And then once you get out of the water, that's only where the problem begins. Because now Fox Chapel's there. You got everybody else. I mean, that place was my nightmare growing up, that wave pool. What I'm saying is, I haven't gone free diving because I blew up my eardrum, but I appreciate the fact, Scuba Steve, that you're going down there. And we really thank you for doing it. You take any photos or anything so at least the internet can see it?
I've been thinking about getting a camera mount, but it's just kind of something that I do on occasion with my friends, you know. Nothing too crazy.
Are you the best free diver out of you and your friends, or is there somebody else that goes deeper than you, dude?
I mean, I'm all right.
He's the champ. He's the champ.
What's the scariest fish you've seen down there?
There's been a couple pike, but I mean, again, you know, mainly freshwater stuff. So.
Shit. Eye to eye with a pike. Have you ever fisted a fish before?
No, that is on the bucket list for the summer, though. So I mean, hey, never know.
Hey, make sure you put sunscreen on your back. People are going to forget
yes.
when you ever get in the lake.
Incredibly Irish, so yes.
Yeah.
What kind of visibility? Lakes usually don't have great visibility.
Yeah, you got to go in there blind, dude.
I'm up in Connecticut, so there's a couple places up here that actually have really, really clean water.
Gorgeous. It's like the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Turquoise waterland.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Bill Gates over there making them, clean them up.
Hell yeah. What's up with your obsession with Bill Gates?
What happened with Billy Gates today? You've mentioned him 3 times. You shoehorned him into this.
You talked about puncturing the atmosphere. I thought Connor told me that Bill Gates is doing things to save the earth.
I didn't say anything about that, AJ.
Okay.
The pool parties,
I think he turned to the ocean.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, God. Junior.
What do you want to talk about, Scuba Steve?
Well, I just had a question for you boys. So you've touched on it before about how a lot of media covers Peyton as a Bronco now that he's in the Hall of Fame. And I was wondering, A, do you think there's like requirements that should be set into place for the Hall of Fame? Because it just seems kind of so nebulous how who gets selected and who gets in. And then B, what do you think about Brady? Do you think that this was touched upon, I think, quite before last season or during last season?
Yeah.
But now that he's won a Super Bowl with Tampa, I'm a Pats fan, so shout out my dude Connor over here.
Hell yeah!
It's your dude. You got a free diving dude.
But
Steve.
Do you think he's going to go down as a Patriot? Do you think he's going to go down as Buccaneer? Or do you think that he's just, considering we're pretty much all in agreement now, the greatest of all time?
Steve.
Do you think he just goes down as...
Free dive, Steve.
Yes.
Okay, so in the NFL, you don't have to designate what team you're going into the Hall of Fame. The only reason why I know that is because Adam Vinatieri has been asked this question like 7,000 times. I think what you need to fear is the same thing that we had to fear with Peyton, is every time he's shown on TV, he is in a Denver Broncos uniform. It is a Denver Broncos jersey, whatever picture they put up, you kind of get erased from memory. If Tom was to win a couple Super Bowls as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Tampa Bay City is booming with Tom, I assume for at least a little bit he's going to be remembered as a Buccaneer. But whenever that Hall of Fame conversation comes back, all the glory days of what he did in New England will be talked about. Just like with Peyton with his Hall of Fame ceremony, there'll be a lot of Colts conversation that's happening. But for the first couple years, you're going to have to see him as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I assume, if it's anything like the way what happened with Peyton. Great question, though, Free Dive Steve. Good luck out in those waters, pal. By the way, there's some lakes you shouldn't pee in because there's fish that'll swim up your piss.
That's right. And parasites.
I don't think those are in America.
Yeah, they'll swim right into your penis.
Don't be ignorant, AJ.
That's actually why they have nets in some bathing suits.
No.
But you can have built-in underwear with bird.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
After you just kept peppering him with different free dive questions, I was trying to see how many free dive questions we could get in to old Scuba Steve. I think we got about 10 minutes for it.
I want to let you know, I've not talked to a free diver, but I've watched enough documentaries where there are enough questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have enough questions, and now we've got that out, and we will never have to do that again. But that was a moment we had there. Had to have it. Sorry if you're watching live. Probably not great, but had to have that because I'm going to reference free diving in murky waters for the next 10 years, probably on Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, I saw some pipe down there. I mean, hey, WWE.
Man.
Hey, this news comes out of nowhere.
What the hell's going on?
Sawing everybody down.
Bro, so the day...
I know Horowitz came on. He got a gig, right?
Okay, Horowitz got a gig. Yeah, that's much different than what we were talking about right here. Today, the Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Monster among men.
Isn't that your guy?
We saw him down at WrestleMania whenever we were on Radio Row or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
His wrists were the size of like that baseball bat. He is a gigantic human being. A lot of But he was also just in the second to last match at WrestleMania Backlash. So that came out of nowhere. Aleister Black, he's was relieved of his duty. He was telling us tales of his dark father there and then interrupted an Intercontinental Championship match. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if the next tale told him or not, but he's not there anymore. Ruby Riott. There's a lot of big names today. Buddy Murphy, there's a lot of big names today that have been let go. And it's like, he's come out of nowhere for everybody, I think.
Did they get released or were their contracts up and they weren't offered another one?
I don't know enough about it. I do not know enough about it. I wish I knew. I'm at an arm's length. You know, with everything there, because especially now we're there every single week. It used to be like we just show up monthly, do the kickoff show, we kind of hear some things and we get out, because it is its own world over there, dude. It is. People can act like it's, regular business and everything like that. It is not. It's its own world in there, confined world. There's different departments. I mean, when you're talking about a globally traded, multi-bazillion-dollar company with a lot of things, with still some people running, it is crazy. So we would drop in once a month and get all the stories, Like, hey, this happened. It was like, oh, cool. So then we leave and it's like, God damn, crazy what's going on here. And then we come back a month later and they're like, hey, remember, blah. It's like, oh, okay, geez, can't believe that's happening. Now we're down there every single week. And when I get there, everything's so quick. We don't really get to know as much of the behind the scenes as we used to because there's not as much time, if that makes sense. So I kind of just follow along with everybody from the outside, but definitely crazy waking up being like WWE's trending yet again. It's like, what happened? Oh, like these people that you were probably a fan of are no longer there, but it's not easy to be in the WWE. I don't know why these decisions were made. These are obviously incredibly talented people and everything like that. It is not an easy gig at all. It is not easy at all to make it in there. So I would assume that all the people that got let go, there's a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for them. I'm a fan of a lot of the people, especially even the day that we announced we were coming. We had to delay that a day because something came where I'm a big fan of a lot of people. But I don't know any of it. But it definitely blindsided all of us over here, AJ. Blindsided.
So Braun Strowman, he's gone?
I guess, yeah.
And what other, I know AEW, is that the next biggest thing that they could go to?
Yeah, AEW has kind of been the location for people when they leave WWE. And also, if you're coming through the indies, you're going to be there. But allegedly, there was an announcement that New Japan and WWE are going to work together. It's just like, there's, the wrestling world is insane. It is absolutely insane. And, I don't like the thought of anybody losing a spot, especially people that have been very nice to us. People have been
because, I'm sure 95% of them blame you and your large salary for why they're not there anymore, right?
What? No, different buckets, dude. Okay, I'm in a different bucket.
It all comes from the same bucket. It all comes from old Vince's bucket.
No. You know how businesses work. I'm in a different bucket than I'm over here now. Back in the day, okay, when I was handling business, rookie of the year type shit, I was in said bucket. I got moved to other bucket now. So that ain't me. That ain't me. You're coming after the wrong guy. But people did tweet me that. People did tweet me. It was my fault that everybody did whatever they got or whatever.
Hey, how's
fan all these people? What the fuck did I do?
Hey, how's Jimmy Smith doing? He took over for Adnan. I did a few MMA shows with Jimmy out in Sirius.
So he had one show. He seemed very confident and comfortable. Got a chance to see him kind of operate at SmackDown last week. He was down there for a couple hours. He's going to be a diligent guy. Not that Adnan wasn't. I assume Adnan was as well. I didn't get a chance to watch him work, but I think Jimmy, it feels like he's comfortable in there. That is a fucking impossible job. I auditioned one time for that role, and I feel like I'm a good speaker. I feel like I'm a pretty good speaker. I feel like I'm a pretty good host. I mean, not great, obviously, but, I feel like I know the products pretty well. I know everybody. I couldn't do it. I just don't know how Michael Cole does it. I have no clue how, the people that have done it in the past. So it's not an easy job at all. Jimmy seems to be on his way, though. And he seemed like a nice guy when he talked to me, too. I don't know him that well. So I'm definitely happy for him. You know him better than I do, though. You think he's going to do well?
Yeah, I know he loves it. I know he's super detailed, and from the few MMA shows I have done with him, yeah, he's a pro. I know he's super excited about having that job too.
He had a 3-piece suit on when I saw him.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was 3-piece suit.
Jimmy fought. He fought back in the day some MMA.
Yeah, he was in the cage, right? And then he did some commentating, and then now he still does podcasts, I think, and he's going to be doing Monday Night Raw. It's awesome. Not easy. He told me a story of getting kicked in the face in his last match.
Jeez.
An up kick right to the brain.
Like when you got kicked in the face?
What's that?
Like when you got kicked in the face?
No, but somebody tweeted me a picture of that. Adam Cole came back last night. Dude.
Where did he go?
He was just gone for 2 months. I don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got hurt or I have no idea what was happening. He came back last night. That scumbag cut one of the best promos I've heard in some time. I mean, he cut a promo last night that was awesome. No bobbled words. No missed anything. Some great punchlines in there. I mean, it was fantastic to see that little piece of shit back.
Was this? He's with NXT still?
Yeah, and there's a fatal 5-way, I think, for the NXT championship that Karrion Kross has. Karrion, by the way, kind of called him a gas station weasel, which was a great line. Which was a great line. I had a chance to say that a lot of times. I did not, so I have a lot of respect for that. But Adam Cole's back, which is good news. Everybody was talking on the internet. There was a chance that he was going to maybe get moved to, SmackDown or Raw, and he came back last night and just cut I think it was 5-minute promo straight. It was fucking awesome.
It might be a good time to call him up to Raw now that, half the roster's gone.
There's a lot of SmackDown people going too, dude.
I'd rather you go to SmackDown so you could smack him in the fucking mouth every week.
Let him know this is how we do it on SmackDown.
Yeah. Hey, come here. Let me give you your weekly smack.
Hey, this is Roman Reigns' show. Mm-hmm. Okay. After that, there's a lot of other people of importance.
It's Otis's show.
Alpha Academy's in there. They're definitely in there. The Mysterios,
Street Profits.
Street Profits. Boogs.
Oh,
Shinsuke. King Corbin. I mean, Dirty Dogs. There's a lot of people in it.
Bailey.
Natalia and Tamina. Bob Backlund is not on that list now, but if he was to come back, he would be. But I'd let Adam Cole know that, hey, all these people are definitely above me. You're fucking below me, though, dude. Fall in line, pal.
Way below.
At catering, listen, you wait until I get fed.
Yeah. That's right.
Because I'm waiting for everybody else to eat. Right. Okay? You're new. You step right back here. But that gas station weasel cut a promo last night. I was very impressed with. Very, very impressed. It was good to see him. Good to see him back. He did not get the same spray tan I got.
Really?
Didn't seem like it. Seemed like he went au naturel out there.
Wow.
He's wearing a lot of shirts with sleeves, I see.
Was he covered in conditioner? Or?
Yeah, his hair did look good, yeah. He had some sweet J's on, too. Some ones.
Oh, okay.
Ones
cool.
Yeah, cool. He had a new little gimmick shirt he's probably, forcing people to wear so it looks like they bought it.
Mm-hmm.
He was back, though. He got a hell of a promo.
Dirtbag.
Yeah, well, he is.
Yeah.
It's great to see him back, though. Where the fuck was he for 2 months, AJ? Where was he?
I hope he was just getting some much needed time off. He needed to rest his body. He's been battling for a long time, right?
Yeah, especially after me.
He beat you, though.
No thanks to you.
Not the second time.
What happened the second time?
I kicked out of his finisher.
Yep.
And then, so you won that match?
Well, see, it's a team sport, war games. I don't know if you've known anything about war games, but you need your entire squad. And my team was ready. We got caught off guard. I was out of it because I just kicked out of a goddamn Canadian destroyer, which beat me the first time. Wrestling community was not happy I kicked out of that. What do you think was going to happen, dude? Not going to beat me twice. But as I'm coming out of that whole thing, boom, it's over before it even started. We were just 45 minutes in. We were just starting to find our groove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody talks about that, by the way. I was exhausted. That was a long one. You have a couple, when you go to war games, you have some strategies, and the boys and I did cook up a potential me off the top of the cage strategy. If it works, we'll do it.
Sure.
That one hurt a lot more than I really thought it was going to whenever we were strategizing that entire thought. You know what I mean?
Well, you broke your toe right before it, too. Not to mention that.
And just simple moonsaw off the top road. I thought that was going to be easy. I seen that on TV. Busted fucking toe. All right, here we go. That's 2 minutes into this thing. How do we last if this is going to last all night here?
Well, and for months afterward, we thought you had a T2, T4 neck break.
Yeah, it was mocked.
Spine rupture.
It was mocked and ridiculed by some stooge in Ohio, but you think I just stole this? No, a doctor gave me this.
Yeah, it's called Walgreens. You sent Sam to Walgreens to pick that up.
They don't sell those at Walgreens.
You think my wife was going to buy in? No way.
My bad.
You wanted this.
You sent Mitt, probably.
Maybe. No. I don't remember, actually, if we did or not. I think a doctor gave it to us.
Hey, WWE official gave that to you.
Doctor.
Les Mitt has a PhD.
Yeah, okay. Are you still leaking raw sewage into the studio today?
So it wasn't me, actually. We did find out somebody took a massive shit next door and did clog some pipes.
Jeez.
So like sewer gas was coming back through your drains or something?
No, it was poop. Yeah. It was poop coming through. They said it was something.
It came from accounting, I guess.
I think that is a lie.
It was bad, dude.
I walked into the hallway back here, before I went out in the courtyard. It smelled like there was a gas leak out there. It was 1,000 times worse than it was in the office.
I never know what's going on. We kind of just we're a big ride the wave, hey, whatever happens, happens show. There's a lot of things I think we should probably raise a little bit bigger alarms about. Like the gas smell just taking over the entire studio out of nowhere.
Not good.
Should probably ask about that.
Yeah.
We should probably, but we won't. We'll just happen.
No, we lit candles.
Yeah, we did. We only got
smart.
And by the way, these candles weren't worth a fuck.
No.
I mean, this thing is.
You need the 3 wicks. The 1 wick isn't going to cut it.
How do we think Aaron's doing, by the way, in California?
Is he not?
Is that where he is?
I learned a lot about him.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Where is he at, AJ?
5 years fiance. I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Is he from Rockford?
No, that guy's from Illinois. That was the Cowboys fan. Rod in Rockford. We're talking about Aaron in California, who's not Rodgers. 5 years fiance.
That's tough.
Oh, yeah.
But you said it, he got out early. Yeah. Perfect time. Silver lining.
Scot-free.
And he's the hero in the story.
Yeah. Get back on the horse.
Can't do no wrong.
Maybe even put on your Bumble. Got cheated on by
best friend.
By ex.
Fiance, 5 years.
Yeah. With best
I wonder
friend.
how long it was going on.
I assume they were playing tummy sticks for a while.
Yeah.
I assume they were playing.
I can't find it.
Maybe he wanted to get married the whole time through the 5 years. He was bugging her, and she was like, no, we need to wait and make sure the time is right because she was old. shacking up with Buddy.
Oh, so you're saying she's the hero in this? Interesting spin by you.
Look at you.
How is that saying she's the hero?
Oh, you're saying she's been putting off because she wasn't sold or whatever. Aaron,
That makes him more of a sympathetic figure, I feel like.
Well, Aaron is a sympathetic figure here. Okay, we don't need to make the hero out to be the lady thrown around.
I'm sure she will pretend that she is, though. Yeah.
All right, do we have a lighter in there?
Hey, what are the trivia questions on the old ticker?
Okay, great. Thank you for mentioning that. You will have 41 minutes until Hammer Down start. Actually, 5 minutes into Hammer Down, so you can give people one last warning or whatever. Okay. You have until 4:05 Eastern Standard Time to enter in for the PMS 5K ticker trivia. You must tweet your answers to these 4 questions while utilizing the hashtag PMS5K ticker trivia. You must use the hashtag because if not, we will not be able to see your answers because we will search for that in the search bar with the answers. Question number 1. What time did we book Shams Charania this morning? When did we send out the Shams signal? Now, you can look at his tweet. You can look at my tweet. You can maybe get a guess in there. Number 2, which quarterback branded cereal do we have in the office? You must put the full name of the cereal. We only have one quarterback branded cereal in the office. Do not be confused with the Buckeye Heroes or whatever with AJ. We're talking quarterback branded cereal. Must have the full name.
That'd be Flutie Flakes.
Okay, that's one answer. What is Zito's current weight? Must be to the 10th.
195.
195? Okay, that is a guess.
0.4.
Okay,
Very nice.
190.4. Okay,
Thank you,
great
AJ.
guess. How many times did tails hit out of 20 coin flips by me? We did this last week. We have it on record. We did not actually follow up with that. You can obviously have an answer in between 0 and 20 for that one. Get all 4 right first using the hashtag PMS5K ticker trivia. You'll win $5,000. Go ahead.
Don't use any ats.
Yeah.
Like last time, if you think there is a possible at.
It wouldn't apply in this one.
I don't think there's any ads.
Okay.
We actually did. I actually had the thought of the ads in the thought of the question making.
Nobody has got 2 of the questions.
What are the 2 questions that have not been answered properly?
Should I say? Weight, and then what time?
You can enter as many times as you would like. Okay, we want to give away the $5,000. If we don't get an answer that is correct before 4:05 Eastern Standard Time, this will roll over into tomorrow.
Ooh, wow!
Yeah, maybe for a $10,000 ticker.
Okay.
So maybe you want to get it wrong, but I would want to get it right, knowing that we're going to do it again. Look out for yourself. Get the answers right. Enter as many times as you would like. AJ, do you have answers for all 4 of those questions?
I don't know if I answered the first one. What was the first question?
What time did we book Shams at this morning?
12. Like, what time did he come on?
No, when did we message him?
I mean, how does anybody know that?
Well, that's the point.
You can give a guess.
10:15 Eastern.
Okay, that is a guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 2, don't know the question. Zito's weight. I said 195.4.
Thank you.
And then what flakes? Oh, you already
Flutie
answered.
Flutie Flakes.
Flutie Flakes.
And then coin flip.
How many times tails?
7.
Okay.
Good job, AJ.
I will like to give a heads up to everybody out there. AJ is completely fucking wrong. Every answer is wrong. You are awarded no points, and we're all dumber for having to listen to it.
No way.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah. How would anybody know what time you guys sent a text to Shams?
I mean,
that's the
point, AJ.
$5,000.
I don't trust you guys. I don't trust your answers because you can make
We have screenshots of all of this. We have videos.
You're
We
acting
do.
like a big fat Mai Tai right now. You know that,
Oh, a vacation drink. What is that all about?
AJ? Yeah, he's acting like one.
Kind of getting soft like you're on vacation, AJ. Is that what you're saying?
All right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You have kind of been acting like a Mai Tai all day today.
Hey, keep trying to shoehorn your new term in on me. Stop using it on me.
No, we're not trying. You're just acting like
just
one.
being dictated by the situation.
What you guys are saying is the drink, the Mai Tai vacation drink, kind of gets you soft, right? Is that what you're- yeah.
It's like a tequila sunrise, like a tequila hawk rise or something like that.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing.
like a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
This show is the worst.
So did you get a plane?
Close, man. Hey.
What do you mean close?
Hey, it's not as easy as Meekum auctions. I thought I was walking into a plain Meekum this morning. That was not the case at all. There's a bunch of stuff that has to take place.
This is a worldwide auction.
But I am. Yeah, it's world.
Okay.
Things I was being told in this meeting was unbelievable. I mean, it was amazing.
The plane meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So you have like a plane broker and then this other person and there's pamphlets and there's this and then there's this amount of shit that we got to figure out and blah, blah,
They got to
blah.
show you, don't they show you, the operating costs per year and all that?
And if we're going to charter it and if the plane wants to work and the pilots and everything.
There's no way you're going to be able to charter it, though, because you want a plane so you could easily just be like, hey, Sam, want to go to Chicago and grab a deep dish? And then you jump on the plane.
No, that
We
is.
love deep dish.
We are getting the plane for work reasons, okay? It is.
Well, that's work.
I mean, if we do make content out of it, maybe we will go to Chicago to get a thin crust.
Ooh. And
I agree.
That deep dish is a lasagna, a pizza.
No.
And I can understand
There's
people
no
like
pasta in it.
I hate it.
No pasta.
The thin crust actually at that place is unfucking
so
believable.
Giordano's.
Yeah, Giordano's thin crust might be the best pizza I've had. That deep dish lasagna shit.
No.
Interesting.
I don't understand.
Delicacy.
It's not pizza.
What do you mean?
You're right.
It's deep dish pizza.
And what he's saying is you guys took a lot of liberties with that word pizza whenever you guys decided to make whatever the hell that is.
It's
that you
world renowned.
Yeah, I understand. What we're saying is you guys have propagandized this thing into everybody believing that's lasagna.
Yeah.
No.
It
There's a
is
lot of cheese. There's a lot of sauce.
The
but it's
thin.
very good.
You're also saying it's lasagna like that's a bad thing,
What's that?
which I don't appreciate.
Yeah, we
I do believe the Italians hate the lasagna the most out of everything.
Wow. You don't like lasagna?
Lasagna's the worst.
Come on.
Yeah, you know I don't like things that are hot just blowing up in my mouth. Lasagna's the king of that.
What about Getty?
Huh?
Let it
about
cool
Getty?
down a little bit.
Buttered noodles I'll go with, but I don't need any of this extra sauce or
about
gravy.
spicy meatball?
I don't care how Italian you are. Keep the gravy or the sauce away from it, okay? Just let me eat the pasta.
You like pesto?
Gonna go over well.
Well, listen, I don't care.
Pesto's good. Don't you like? You're a big meatball sub guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Come on. What
That's-
about pizza rolls? Those explode in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't fuck with them.
Really?
Pizza bagels.
You gonna bite the
Bagel
corner.
bites.
Oh, bagel bites.
I like
Come
bagel
on.
bites now. That is
Sign me
something I
up.
will
Good.
get down with. Yeah.
Dave took more Mazda than pizza rolls.
But I don't like these things that are going to burn my mouth. Whatever the taste is not worth the
Just let
potential.
it cool down. Let it cool down a few minutes, bud.
Huh?
You're allowed to let it cool down a little bit.
Okay, cool. I'll eat it tomorrow then, I guess. But it's why am I choosing to eat 2-day-old lasagna? You know what I mean? Like that isn't something I'm about.
My food and I need it now.
I like chicken parm. Okay, I like penne pasta. I get down with that.
Spaghetti.
It's all good.
No, he said he
Spaghetti
doesn't
kinda
like
stinks.
Getty.
Spaghetti kind of stinks.
It does not.
Yeah, spaghetti's like the pasta that they just throw and shit to say you got pasta.
I mean, buttered noodles.
Butter noodles.
I'm down with butter noodles.
Fuck is that
about?
Chicken.
Bow tie ones.
Parmesan chicken, yeah. Bow tie ones, Really? I mean, I'll eat them. Okay, but just give me the penne.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just do what you got to do.
Tortellini?
Well, what kind of sauce do you put on the penne?
Well, listen, I mean, I'm going to go with the red, but I'm not scared of that white mixing and getting the pink.
Oh.
Yeah, I would do the entire thing. I grew up around too many Italians, all right?
Yeah, that stinks.
I'm not falling for the whole lasagna's good trick. It's not. Okay, lasagna's shit. It's the worst part of Italian food. Aside from meatball subs, which are not actually Italian, that's Americanized, and you guys have ruined that as well.
How about fusilli?
What's that?
It's on the Google page of Italian dishes, I believe.
He actually is.
Yeah.
It's a type of pasta, you uncultured fucks. All right.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's a
what that is.
noodle.
I don't know. What
For silly Jerry.
Mastacholi.
Pasta salad. Fusilli's good for pasta salad.
Hell yeah, good spirals.
Oh, okay. I know what it is. I do like that. It is only.
Didn't
good
you ever
for
go to
pasta.
Fazoli's? Like in high school, you go to Fazoli's and get the
That's
55
not
Pittsburgh
AJ.
bread.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In Pittsburgh, you can't.
AJ,
There's no
you
drive-through Italian. in
Don't
Pittsburgh.
fucking start.
That's not how it goes.
Fazoli's is delicious.
Good breadsticks.
I agree. By the way, I do
I
like
like
Fazoli's
Fazoli's.
now, but there's no way in New York or Pittsburgh
If
or
Mickey
Philly.
Mouse were to start an Italian chain, it'd be Fazoli's.
No. You. It's better than we all expected.
I haven't eaten it.
You get stage 5 LeBron diarrhea after
I
that.
refuse to eat that fucking drive-through Italian.
I guess you don't like piping hot breadsticks.
I mean,
you
those
can handle
breadsticks
them.
are delicious.
And Nick, hey, by the way,
Good.
Nick has
Yeah,
fully
exactly. Here, I'm full convert back here.
I'm not going to discriminate against breadsticks.
Melts
They can
right
come
in your
from
mouth.
anywhere.
Listen, we grew up in a very Italian area. Pittsburgh is very Italian. It is. I think it had the most dense Italian population in the country, by the way, for a long time. More than New York, more than Philadelphia, more than Chicago for a long time. Now, I don't know where it's at now or
There's a lot
whatever.
of Croatians. I got buddies that are Croatian. That their whole family's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a lot of croats.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Polish, Irish, Italian. That's what I thought. I didn't know there was a lot of Croatians.
Slovaks, too.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what,
A lot of
Rosie's.
blushki.
Hey, Rosie's pierogies, too. I mean,
I love pierogies.
Those are really good. Polacks crush it there. All right, let's get out of here. That's the show.
Get some Italian food.
I know,
Hey,
that
Pat,
sounds
speaking
good.
of Pittsburgh guys, you know how we always talk about O-linemen losing weight? Is there pictures of the Pouncey brothers? I think both of them are like 240, 235 right now.
Oh, they're getting down to fighting shit? What if they get into, like, YouTube boxing?
Oh.
They should.
That'd be awesome.
Make it happen. Pouncey's versus Paul's.
They're so big. It'd be hard to
Yeah,
get down
that's
to
going
190,
away.
I think. Hey, Logan looks good. They're fighting this weekend, I guess.
Sunday.
Logan looks good, dude. By the way, yoked. He looks all yoked up. I mean, I don't know if it's going to help going against a guy who's been boxing for 40 years, but he looks good out there. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I saw since it's an exhibition match, there's no judges, but you can still get knocked out, I guess. The ref can still call the fight. I wonder, like, Floyd obviously is not a knockout artist. Do you think Floyd's going to knock him out?
Floyd was trying to promote for ring girls. They need ring girls this weekend. And in his post, it says, sign up to be a ring girl this weekend for the exhibition fight between Floyd Mayweather and Paul Logan. You know what I mean? Just like the subtle disrespect there. I have a lot of respect.
Why doesn't he have these ring girls nailed down by now? Like, we're working week of?
He's focused on boxing, dude. He's focused on boxing. He ain't worried.
He has 222 people on staff around him at all times. One of them could probably do it.
They got to carry the bags, dude.
right.
There's a lot of money to be carried around there. I have the utmost respect for Floyd Mayweather as a businessman, by the way. And listening to him speak, by the way, about it has been really cool here as of late. But what a perfect heel character for 20 plus years at this point. Everybody wants to see him die. He gets in there, doesn't get hit by anybody, wins. This is the most boring fight of all time. I ain't never going to watch it. Next time, hey, somebody's going to beat up Floyd Mayweather. This time he's going to get hit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it. Same thing. Nothing happens. Floyd wins. And then just put that thing on repeat. Just put that thing on repeat forever. Logan, though, his trainer, it's going to take his one, huh? One right to the suckle of Floyd.
Right on the button.
And the thing about Floyd, though, is he doesn't get hit.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't get hit.
I mean, even like he fights like Canelo and he doesn't get hit. So like I don't know. Logan looks good. Logan looks jacked. He looks like he's in great
Looks
shape.
unbelievable, dude.
But I mean, Floyd Mayweather's 50-0. Logan Paul is 0-1. It's unbelievable that they're actually like credit to Logan and the Paul brothers. Like, hey, Logan Paul is fighting Floyd Mayweather on Sunday. Just saying that alone is crazy.
Yeah, and Jake Paul is fighting Tyron Woodley, which is another
That's
big time
a scary
announcement. I mean, the Paul brothers, I don't care what anybody thinks about them. You got to think that they're absolute geniuses when it comes to marketing, business, making money. You know, Dana White said Jake Paul's 15 minutes of fame is about to be up or whatever. It's like, I don't know if Dana White has any idea. Jake Paul has been pulling in like hundreds of millions of dollars for a long time at this point. He is.
That much, really, you think?
Merch, dude. The amount of merch that dude
What is his
moves.
merch called?
Gotcha Hat is the newest one. Probably made $10 million.
But it's
bucks
called
off of it.
something like Team something. His brother has that Maverick.
Problem Child?
Problem
10.
Child, I
That's his
think, or
nickname. I
something.
think he had the Team 10 thing is what his. Oh. That dude they have dominated the internet for a long, long time. And it's like, now they're going to the real world out there. And they're like, who are these guys? It's like, they're going to figure out how to make the most amount of money in your business that you have ever.
His new line is banned by Floyd.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because he's banned from the fight, allegedly. He's coming down from the rafters like Sting, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope at least.
Drop him in.
Because they're both at Showtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's all coming.
Is it sold out? It's Hard Rock Stadium. Is it sold out?
I don't know. It's going to be hot as fuck down there.
I'm going to get it.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see the undercard. Who's fighting on the undercard?
Ocho versus old buddy.
Is he fighting for real?
Oh, yeah.
Forget his name, the bare knuckle boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Ocho's fighting.
One of the slap guys from the Jake.
Oh, I wish.
The Jake fight?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Should fight Pete Davidson.
So I do wonder if Jake Paul, because of Pete Davidson, said, hey, Triller, we ain't doing this no more. Bye-bye to your company. The Pauls did that to Vine. Hey, this ain't how this goes.
But he has a piece of Triller, though.
You would assume he did have a piece of Triller. So how did the Pete Davidson thing happen? And instead of maybe it was a full work or whatever. Good for Pete then.
Yeah.
Just going in there and letting it fly. All right, the guy's paying me tonight. Fuck him. I'm gonna Takes a lot of gut sack to do that. You know what I mean? How much money you think Floyd makes this weekend? He called it a legalized bank robbery.
It's got to be 100.
Yeah, well, he's going to bet a ton on himself, isn't he?
Can he bet on an exhibition?
Paul in the other one against Woodley is minus 175. He opened at.
That's an actual bout, though.
That's a fight, though.
Yeah.
Jake Paul is the favorite?
Yeah.
Logan's not
Let's
sanctioned
go,
because
Jake.
there's size difference and everything. They're not sanctioning the Logan. That's why Logan's is an exhibition.
So if it's not sanctioned, then there won't be able to be any actual.
There's no judges, so I guess if it goes to you probably can't bet on it.
Just rig it.
How many
some
rounds?
of Connor's people. We'll call some of Connor's bookies. I'm sure he has a bunch of underground dudes.
Well, or we could call any of the Italians that are sitting in here, but I mean, we do business with FanDuel.
What a Mai Tai comment, AJ.
Hold on. So
Come on.
I don't think that was a soft comment. I don't think
He's coming at me.
No, I'm not.
You kind of did. You called him a dirtbag. So
Yeah.
He's got undesirables.
Gambling illegally.
As friends.
If you are.
Come on.
All right. That's the show. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. AJ, thanks for spending time with us, dude.
Yeah, thank you, AJ.
Tomorrow.
Big thanks to Schrags. Big thanks to Shams. Tomorrow we got a big show, dude. There's going to be a lot to talk about.
Logan Paul is plus 600.
Floyd's minus 1,000.
To do what?
To win.
Yeah, but we don't know. There's not going to be a winner.
Yeah, this is just on a random betting site.
Oh, this is offshore.
Yeah.
You can bet on that. Probably won't get your money.
Nope.
Really?
I think that is kind of a thing that does happen.
Impossible to withdraw. Not that I know.
Yeah, it's tough to get your money.
They don't give it on. You can't get it on Bitcoin right away.
Because your check is coming from some mine in Uzbekistan.
Yeah,
so.
it's very interesting, especially now with legalized
Tough to
gambling.
cash, even if you do get it. You got to take it to a big bank.
Take big checks and also hopefully see the IRS doesn't see it. You know, there's just a lot of drawbacks to the offshore betting, which a lot of us were probably trying
That's
to do.
what we'll do. Hey, that's what we use your plane for. We'll fly down just boatloads of cash to put it into offshore bank accounts.
Well, it's Costa Rica is where they're all based out of. And the last time I was going to go to Costa Rica, a volcano went off for the first time in 30 years. And I thought that was a sign.
Yeah,
so
no thanks.
I don't know if I'll go back to Costa Rica.
8 3-minute rounds. No judges. No official winner read. Knockouts legal. KO up to ref discretion.
Helmet?
12-ounce gloves. No headgear.
Here we go.
So like
They know for people to watch, like you can't wear headgear in this kind of fight.
So what is it? 6, 7, and 8 is probably where Floyd is going to
make his move.
Going to go.
You would think he wants to make a little bit of a show.
Yeah. In his Logan, he looks like he's in incredible shape. He's been training, he said, for a full year for Floyd Mayweather. So hopefully his cardio, he was a wrestler, right, in high school, so hopefully his cardio is able to do his thing. I think that's all, not that's all it is. You obviously have to have the mentality and the skill and the power to be able to do it. But boy, with boxing, that cardio thing is
in that situation
paramount,
too. Like he's only had a few fights. Like to actually go in there and not have that crazy adrenaline dump like after the first or second round. Can you imagine how he's got to be pretty anxious, pretty nervous, pretty excited for this situation? How do you keep that, like the mental side of it? How do you help rein that in so you don't just gas out right away?
And it's 175 degrees in Miami.
Yeah.
With 2,000% humidity. It's just like whenever they went and fought over in Saudi Arabia or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we almost died out there. It was 130 degrees. It's like Miami, middle of June, outdoor stadium. Whew, it's going to be a hot one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we'll watch it.
Gotta.
We'll judge it. I know there's no judge, but I'll judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say they both won because there's probably going to be a couple $100 million spent at this whole thing.
Yep.
The training looks so miserable, dude.
Brutal.
I do that Oculus boxing, and I'm so tired. Last night, when I gets old buddy at the highest level outclassed, I was just dead. And then you think in a real fight, okay, as you're standing there trying to gather your thoughts, your breath, and your life, you then have to just wooble back out to the middle in 1 minute, and somebody's going to try to beat the fuck out of you again. That is, I have the utmost respect for anybody that gets in there. Hopefully, it'll be good fights this weekend. If not, tomorrow's show is going to be massive.
Yeah.
AJ, who are you having on tomorrow?
Oh, I mean, I got some big guests in the works. I'm still have feelers out for Obama. Haven't got him confirmed yet, but I'm still reaching out.
Bombario.
Every time. Every time. Every time. He's got a good impression.
He does.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Hammer Downs in 22 minutes. Get your answers in for hashtag PMS5K Ticker Trivia on Twitter. $5,000 up for grabs. If nobody wins it, we will roll over to tomorrow for a $10,000 winner. You have to have your answers in by 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. Must use the hashtag. Good luck out there. We can't thank you enough. Big show tomorrow. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, boys. Cheers. Have a good one. All right.